off. Well, too bad now.
At least it's Jackie Prime.
All right, yeah, good afternoon. We're back in session. The next presentation up is Senior Services, Miss Jackie Cron. Always on time.
Righty, how's everybody?
Oh, we're just
Jackie.
peachy.
Ryan couldn't be here. She's doing her other job this weekend. So but we worked on this budget together. So if you look on your 5100 page, you'll notice that we did substitute the activity coordinator for the kitchen manager, which the select board gave their blessing to last week. Tried to explain in with the little asterisks the things in this personnel page that are partially or completely reimbursed by the MART grant. So you'll see that part of my hours, part of the dispatcher's hours, and all of the driver's driving hours. Do you have any questions on 5100? No? Okay. And also just to point out the outreach coordinator, her position is funded through the formula grant. So that's why there's a 0 there in the request column.
I have a question.
Oh yeah, sure.
How long is that, how much funding do you have for that position and how long?
For the outreach coordinator. So the formula grant right now has a balance of 33,264. We get an allocation every year. I'm thinking it's around 20. It's around 18 to 20 every year. So it's conceivably it can, there's a few other things that we use the formula grant funding for, but this is the primary expense.
So you think it really would self-sustain?
It should.
Okay.
Yeah, it should. Okay, on the next page, employee support. Again, the 3 cell phones are for the drivers. That's reimbursed by MART. And then the MCOA, Mass Council on Aging membership dues, that, offers a lot of trainings, a lot of support for Ryan and the other staff. They do have a conference every year. We took that out of this line item because as with a lot of those organizations, there's a lot of great ideas, but it's typically for centers that have a more robust budget, than we do. So and Ryan and primarily Ryan can sort of get some ideas as the conference ends and things are shared via email. It's just a way to save a little bit of money for a conference that wouldn't really help with a center of our size and staff. Do you have any questions on that?
No.
Okay, 5200, the My Senior Center software support, if you've ever been there, that's the kiosk that you go in and the seniors scan to come in and they choose what purpose they're there for. It helps to generate a lot of statistics for us for the annual report that we submit every year to the state. So it's a great software. All the senior centers use it. And the yoga and program instructors, we've got lots of classes over there, and we did bump their rate up a little bit last year because we weren't really paying competitively. So, and the seniors are used to making a donation, so that money gets turned over into the senior center donation account every month. So whatever is collected. Any questions there? Alrighty, 5400. Again, we've got some, these are mostly either funded through the formula grant or reimbursed through MART. we did add kitchen supplies into this line item this year. And we do have some money from the former Friends of the Templeton Elders that we can utilize to sort of get the kitchen stocked, because it's just about ready. It's just about finished. So, and as far as going forward, I know that the question came up at the select board meeting about, you know, ongoing costs for the kitchen, food and that sort of thing. So we've got to feel our way out here and just see what's going to work here. You know, how many meals realistically can we prepare at the center, and what's that going to look like, and what other avenues we can utilize to have congregate meals available. So
Yeah, I did get a partial answer to that. Part of that is mock funded MOC.
okay. The congregate meals.
Yep, there's
Yes.
another portion behind it and I'm still waiting for the response.
Okay, great. Yeah, a couple of senior centers nearby, like Winchendon, I believe, does congregate meals through Mock. I think Gardner does. So with the equipment we have in the kitchen, we would be able to do that. Again, it's just a matter of figuring out what's gonna work for our people and what's the best use of.
I think down the road, you're gonna need more transportation, because I think you're gonna have a bigger requirement and more people needing your services, the way things are going,
Right,
you know?
right,
People getting older all the time and finances get harder.
right.
Yep.
Yep, we track the MART rides. Right now the fares are still free. They've been free for about a year now. So
Thought
that's
of that.
great. It's really,
To Rolf was, had a lot to do with establishing that thing way back.
a great service. Yep. Okay, any questions on 5400?
Just one. So you get the gas for the MART van,
Yes.
even though it says MART reimbursed. When it gets reimbursed, where do do they go into the general fund? Do they go into
Yeah, general fund, yep.
general? Fund? Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you.
5600, there's nothing listed there. And then 5700 are volunteer appreciation party, which we just had a week or so ago. And MART miscellaneous, just to get the vehicles, you know, cleaned periodically and tolls and that sort of thing. So that is senior services. Yes.
I have a question. I have a comment, not a question. I want to thank you because yours is the first budget that I went through that I didn't have this in my hand. So appreciate it very much.
Yes.
Yes, you deserve a belt.
I didn't ask one question,
That's
as
right.
anybody knows. You're the first.
Thought you were
Very
asleep over
nice.
there.
I know. Well, it's a small, but you know, the smaller budgets probably are not as heavy lifting as
Yep.
some of my colleagues, but
But you, nice,
Yeah.
frugal budget.
thanks.
Yes, appreciate it.
The more elderly, the more room for growth. Because it's, until we're all gone. Yeah.
It's a very busy center. I mean, even now,
Yep,
it's
yep.
it's very, very busy. So
When I get old, I'll go there.
I'm not gonna say you should visit him.
I know, I saw him, he looks like he's having fun, I
He
mean,
loves
I'm
it.
really glad.
yeah.
I can't wait till I retire. I retire and then it's all scheduled.
They'll be the only friends I have left. No, you do a good job, Jackie.
So does the staff over there. I can't say enough about them, but thank you.
You've done a lot on your own. I remember seeing her grocery shopping, like 6 o'clock at night.
Yeah, during COVID, that was fun.
Yeah. Mhm.
We all set with same services?
Yeah.
No questions. Thank you, Jackie.
Alrighty,
And you just stay put.
stay put.
He's on the line, he's always right.
Because you're the librarian and
That's
you are
right.
next.
Library.
It just comes right on next. Yeah.
Yep, the library. So just to kind of give you the refresher Reader's Digest, one of the requirements in order to be qualified for state certification is that our budget, our appropriation from the town must increase 2.5% over the average of the past 3 years. So it's just a very small rolling increase that, that we have been cognizant of as long as I've been director. Because every big chunk ends up carrying forward and your budget can really increase by leaps and bounds, quickly. So, we've been careful, conservative, to try to not let that happen. I do have to say, despite the fact that I looked at this budget 1,000 times before I sent it into James, I found an error on Thursday, which is not the email James wanted to get from me, but it's,
Okay, though.
the numbers here don't add up to our municipal appropriation requirement. They're off by $81. So
How much?
$81. So I said,
Get out.
First time in 31 years, I have really messed this up, and I don't know. I
Just blew it, you know. Should have been identified
you
now.
know. But James was very nice and said, we'll address it. But I just wanted to let you know, if you're adding these all up, they don't add up to that number, but they will. They will before town meeting. Anyway, so the first page is 5,100 personnel. Myself, my hours are split among the other community services departments. And then our 2 wonderful library assistants.
Question,
Yeah.
are there any requirements for certifications or anything like that for librarians, library assistants that they need to?
Yeah, not for library assistants, but for the library director in towns of under 10,000, which we are. Need a college degree, and you need to complete 5 courses with the Board of Library Commissioners, which I did many, many moons ago. They're acquisitions, circulation. I can't even remember honestly now, but so those are the 2 requirements for library directors in towns under 10,000 population.
Do you have to do any recertifications, or is just you do that and you're good?
Right, you do that and you're good.
Thanks.
Must be nice. Make me do all kinds of stuff.
Okay, so 5110 employee support. Again, there's all kinds of conferences, but I find these 3 Mass Library Association School Library Journal is a great resource for reading reviews of new materials that we're deciding whether to purchase or not. And this Association for Small and Rural Libraries, if there was ever a conference I would go to, it would be that one, but they're never close by because they're libraries, the size as Templeton, and towns our size that are really comparable. So, but they're great resources, and not a lot of money. So, and our CW Mars membership on the next page, that's, worth its weight in gold. They afford not only the system that we circulate and upload our collection to, but they offer a lot of support for staff and directors. So and a lot of help with, for instance, when we're closed for our renovation, they are helping to set different parameters on the Templeton page of the CW Mars site that will help folks to redirect them in the couple of months that we're closed. Whether they're picking up holes, it will automatically redirect them to the nearest library so that there's not a lot of confusion. They're just great. They're a great resource. So.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, if I may, you can stop me if it's a problem, but I want just like the local people to understand, like when our library's closed, like what other options might be for residents to be able to quickly get books. Because that's something that I know people are going to be concerned about. Is that okay if she just mentions that really quickly?
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. So, being part of CW Mars, if your library card can be used at any public library in the area, again, they will set it so that you can, if you request a book through interlibrary loan and your typical pickup location is Templeton, we're closed, so they will deactivate that, and we're working with our patrons now to help them select a different location. You know, Gardner, Phillipston, Athol, Westminster, wherever is convenient for them. But you can use your library card at any of those places, and you'll.
For the renovation.
Well, in renovation, that's what,
Right.
that's part of the CW fee that we pay every year. It's very,
Right, it's looking like the last meeting, it looked like we were shooting to begin the end of March. So it's a lot, you know, we are contracting with a company to move and store all the books offsite in those front two rooms. Children's room will be used for mostly other storage for items. But it's going to be beautiful when it's finished. It really is. It's gonna be really great. So, and air conditioning.
What year did they build that room?
Which room? The main library was
No,
like,
not, I know.
Oh,
they-
the children's room?
Yeah,
oh, the children's side? I think that was in the sixties.
yeah,
Yeah,
No, as long as I can
and
remember.
that was, it was the old thing when I went there.
yeah. No, it's gonna be beautiful. So yeah, you'll see that this page, the purchase of services, you can see where we've kind of utilized a little bit of the state grant for the EBSCO for our newsletter. And on the next page, we utilize some of the state grant to split the expenditure of books and materials, which is another requirement for state certification. We need to expend at least 19% of the total appropriation, although it doesn't have to come from the appropriation, on materials and books that can be borrowed. So, and office supplies. I am trying to get an answer from the state as far as that 19%, how that works when we're closed for a few months, which we will be this year. I'm not sure how they handle that, but I want to know so that I can be prepared for my reporting in the fall on this fiscal year. So that's supplies, and that's the budget. That is the library. If you have any questions, library is pretty easy. The library budget went up, well, our request went up $763 over this fiscal year. Which again, like 2 years ago, it went down. So that's when you're careful with those numbers, that can happen. And it's, we're not alone in using that formula to really kind of hone down what we ask for, because it's a tough economic climate. And if any of those criteria aren't met, then we're in the position of requesting a waiver from the state, which is never a fun process. I've gone through it once here. You're not guaranteed of getting a waiver if your library is cut disproportionately in a bad year, which sounds like what we're having. Then they don't like that. That's not looked on favorably. And so there's a lot that goes into the waiver. If it comes to that, we will absolutely go through that process again, but we work really hard to try to keep the number as low as it needs to be, so.
You've done a wonderful job, and I thank you so much for
Thank you.
doing the grants and everything else, and
Thank you.
that's the same.
Thank you.
You know,
I love my job.
And the historical and cultural one that was on, is that you?
No,
No, it's a separate committee.
Well, it's under communities.
It's under community services.
Yeah.
but I
Oh,
don't,
is it?
I don't think they're presenting today.
No, they're not presenting.
Yeah. you did
Thank you,
good job.
Jackie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Jackie.
She's another strong person in our town. Hey, we need you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We depend on you.
But Michelle, you want to come up? Veterans
Veterans is before senior services.
Good day, everyone.
Hi, Michelle.
Hello.
We're trying to find your budget in our books.
So go back through library, then senior services.
Yeah.
Listen to me.
Here's the-
Oh, Steve.
Stick your little flag in there.
All right, on the page.
Yeah, you can do this one. It's good. Yeah. Okay. So I think mine's relatively easy. The first one, regarding the personnel, it's just me. So I just asked for, the regular annual, slight increase, according to the annual percentage rate. So if there's no questions there, we're going to the second page. The employee support, it's just the annual conferences that we have to attend, to be certified and to just keep up to date with the recertifications that we do twice a year. Purchases of services on the next page. That's the Vetrospect, that's the annual, that's the state computer service that we use, to do claims. Supplies is the next page.
Yes. Yeah, the next one is expense budget.
Next one is other 5,700 other. It's the payments on behalf of veterans. That's what we have next.
Oh, okay.
Whatever one you want to discuss.
Yeah, and then the last page that I had was the expense to veterans. And that just stayed, I think, the same from last year. That's what I have.
I've got it.
Yeah, they're obviously 5,700,
Okay.
5,400 on the backside. The way they printed.
So I have, and maybe I just wrote it down wrong. For last year fiscal for the, what is this? This is the payments to and on behalf of the veterans.
Mhm.
Had 85,000 last year and it's now 115,000. I realize part of it's reimbursed.
Yep.
And can you kind of describe that a little bit? And then when it's reimbursed, where does the money, does that go to the general fund?
So I don't know if I printed wrong, because I thought so I'm not sure if the 115 was the total of everything, because I think mine printed wrong too, because I'm not really sure, to be honest with you.
Well, 115 was the total payments on behalf of veterans. That's what we have that's what I have in my spreadsheet.
Okay, so then we can revisit that, to be honest with you.
Okay, no, I'm just, I'm not questioning the number.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to understand the number. And then I realize part of it gets 75% roughly gets reimbursed.
Yes, the chapter 115,
So does that come back to veteran service or general?
general fund.
General fund.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so
How many veterans are you seeing in Templeton?
On chapter 115? Yeah, so only on chapter 115, I think I have 9 or 10 on chapter 115. As far as veterans, I can't even count.
No, it's the ones that you're dealing with.
So, and then you get 100% reimbursement for the funerals and 100% reimbursed for the cemetery flags. So,
Didn't building and grounds have cemetery flags in their budget?
who's the holders?
Oh,
no, but no, it also said flags.
It did, it said holders slash bat.
So you don't get reimbursed for the holders, just the cemetery flags.
okay.
Okay, because in his budget, it had holders and flags, right?
Yes, and they submit the receipt to me just for the cemetery flags.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yes. I know that the scouts typically put them out for Memorial Day.
Flag placement.
Flag placement.
And I go to the flag placement and I'm the one that goes to the flag placement and does it. So I do the flag placement.
I'm confused. because the scouts go out and actually put the flags on.
Correct. So I coordinate that with
You
the
coordinate
scouts.
that with the scouts.
Mhm,
Okay,
and I'm out there with them.
okay.
Yeah.
And, my son did it multiple years.
Mhm.
So, that's great. What happens to the flags afterwards? Do you collect them or do they only get used once, or is it just one of those, a weather thing and they can only be used?
So they usually typically, the way I have heard it, they typically keep them out until about Veterans Day.
Yeah.
And then if they can reuse them, they will reuse them. But because the state can reimburse them every year, then they will, I'm not sure what they do with them afterwards,
They're fine. It's not fair.
because it goes back to the DPW.
Okay. Thank you.
In all fairness, most of them probably get pretty weathered.
That's kind of what I figured, but.
And in all fairness, the Boy Scouts do have a flag burning ceremony for most of them. To properly get rid of them.
It's probably a dirty issue too, because it's probably not good decorum to put dirty flags out.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So, I mean,
I'm just
Yep.
just trying to understand the process. That's all.
yep.
I'm not.
So
questioning.
on the cemetery flags, because they're 100% reimbursable by state, we order new boxes, like, so I have the boxes now in my office and I bring them to the flag placement every year. And then we put out the brand new ones. If they're in awesome shape, like hardly, like, other than the spike that goes on the bottom, if they're untouchable, then we'll reuse them. But other than that, they will be properly disposed.
Thank you.
Further questions for Michelle?
No.
We are good. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Michelle.
Next up is cable TCTV.
Cables toward the back of your budget, book, your budget book. After insurance and benefits. Might be literally the last one.
Yeah.
Hey, Steve.
How's it going? Long day?
Sir. But we're having fun.
It's a long day for us streaming too. So I'd just like to start by reviewing what PCTV and the cable department are all about. What we kind of truck in is community information. I know a lot of us know us for the meetings, but we do a lot more than that. And there are thousands of efforts around the United States and the world right now to try to find a way to make local news and community information work. Why newspapers are dying. And we're part of that. And, you're going to see different solutions for every town. And I think we're finding some solutions for our town and the verge of finally realizing some revenue streams for us so that we can be sustainable. It's been a long, multi-year process to get to this point, and it does take time to build this up. But communities that ignore community information do so at their peril. Because government corruption increases, I'm not saying that would happen here, but apathy also increases. And I think we already fight now, and we want people to get more involved. And that's why we have things like the public service announcements here. So when people come in to a planning board meeting or something, they say, hey, they may not know about TCTV and then start watching some meetings and get more involved in their community. So it has a ripple effect. And, we do other things as well. The question's been asked, well, what do you do more than meetings? I had the sewer department in here the other day, and they're looking to digitize their cards. So when they're out in the field, they don't have to rely on a book. And we talked about ways that they could do that. I don't talk about this much, but a couple years ago, the Historical Society got a pitch to have an audio tour in Templeton Center. and I checked it out for them. The website was from Macedonia, which is a notorious web farm of disinformation. It could still be legit. And I looked into it a little further. The owner of the business, which was actually violating copyright by putting audio tours on their app, was a Russian oligarch. And I don't take that lightly. You know, you can have a hostile foreign power try to get into your community. It could have been just a data scraping play, but these are some of the things that we try to help our town with. And I think you all know what we did during the COVID crisis. I don't like to keep referring to it, but you were able to do, this town was able to do its business because of TCTV. And we had to morph from that into filling a news desert unexpectedly. I should have expected it with newspapers dying, but we had never seen it before. And I think we're doing a fair job of that. We could do a better job of it, but we're learning how to do that. So we're grateful for the funding that happened this year with an additional $50,000. And we're asked that you contribute at least that much to keep us going this year. The cable revenues are plummeting still, and it's a very challenging atmosphere. The light department has agreed to extend the pilot for us for any unused monies. We haven't spent a dime on that yet, and I'm trying not to as long as we can. We may realize with the digital equity grant, which runs through September, we can backfill that with and probably offset about $30,000 in personnel costs at this point, because we haven't done much with it yet. And there's 10 to 12,000 in the pipeline for video production with Montechusett.tv and TCTV. So we're trying to do our part to get everything rolling. I'd like to sell memberships as well, and do mailers out to residents to see if we can get them into a like a digital newsletter, an electronic newsletter. The Cultural Council granted us $1,000 to do 2 Arts in Templeton shows with them. And, you know, this is also an equity issue for cable TV subscribers because they're paying most of the bills besides the $50,000. So that's also why I'm asking the town to chip in until we can entice enough non-cable TV households to buy memberships. Maybe at $8.50 a month or $100 a year, but you have to entice them with something like a newsletter or an app. So that's the plan in a nutshell. I'd like to, you know, if you want to meet on March 23rd about funding with the cable committee, we are open to that, or, you know, sometime during this budget cycle. And I think you should see a presentation of Montechusett.tv and see what it can do for our community, because it can do a lot for us. And I'll go through the line items. So personnel, I want to talk about each position and the people involved. I'm the manager and the director of it. Some people around here think I'm a tech guy. I'm a content guy. I'm a writer. Some people around here think I'm a tech guy. I'm a content guy. I'm a writer and an editor. And a magazine editor turns into a brand manager and then a brand builder. I'm the guy in the audio video press years ago that they would hire to come in and go through the wall on a mission. Need to relaunch a brand in 14 months or do this or that. I've been going through the wall for this town for years now. I'm almost through it. There's a saying, have you heard, the first one through the wall gets bloodied? I'm okay with that, right? As long as we can get through the wall. But I'm tired and I've run marathons for this community in the past few years. I need rest. My staff is stepping up. The cable committee is stepping up. We're asking the town to step up as well. The marketing program coordinator and web editor is Alex in the corner. Many of you don't know him. Alex dropped in our lap as a transplant from Ohio. I don't get resumes like that. And he's a good salesperson, so I'm putting him on TCTV sponsorship sales, as well as the work that he does editing the website, Montechusett.tv, and you're doing other stuff, social media, and you're my kind of sales and marketing go-to guy, because I'm not really a sales and marketing guy. And he happens to be, in a past job, a sign manager. So he knows all about digital signs and how we can use them. And I think the digital signage, if we're able to sell advertising on it, may be our savior for TCTV. And I don't want to go on the tax rolls either. And we want to find ways to save us from going on the tax rolls while we build up our business base and boost that in town and contribute to economic development.
Question.
Certainly.
All right, when you do get like $1,000 grant from Culture Council or sales for that, what does it go into the is that where your money goes when you do a turnover? Does it go into the enterprise fund?
I believe so. I think it goes into retained earnings.
Okay.
But Mr. Ryan may better answer that.
Is that the account that it goes? I haven't seen it on the revenue sheet where I can figure out where it goes in.
So you got a grant from the Cultural Council?
Yes, and
State- the state one?
those are reimbursable, so that won't be reimbursable.
Yeah, so that one,
27
yeah,
anyway.
that'd be reimbursable. What was the other example?
Well, say they got like, to do some work for, business or something, they got a fee for it. Where would that be deposited into the enterprise?
Good question. I think enterprise fund, but Amber can answer that question later. That's a
It's
good
just
question.
that when we get the revenue sheet, I hadn't seen any lines for them, so I haven't seen it. I just didn't know where it
There
goes.
hasn't been any recent,
Right.
$500 from Pease and 3,000 last year from MRPC.
Yeah,
So I think I've seen them in the revenue sheets,
I
but
might-
I don't often see the revenue sheets sometimes.
Right.
So
I might have missed, I mean, I just started getting that sheet, so.
we're hoping to populate it
That
much
sheet
more.
before. Yeah, until it was a selectman, so maybe I missed it. All right, thanks.
But we'll work that out as well. So anyways, I think Alex is an asset to our community. And it would be a shame to throw him away with Montechusett.tv. Our next line item is the TCTV program coordinator. That's Hannah, who some of you may still not have met, but she's my rock and my go-to. And she's hosting the meeting right now from her home, as she usually does. And I can't say enough good things about her. She's a pleasure to work with, and I know I'm pushing her hard. And she's a trooper, and she keeps doing great work. And the part-time media assistants, Erin and Ian, some of you know, and they also do most of our video production work and video editing. So before the meeting starts, they've already put a few hours in there. They were budgeted at 20 hours each for a total of 40 hours. They've only been working, around 10 to 15 hours. They're college students, so I just took that out, and it shouldn't affect them. And the part-time media assistants, we haven't been, the other ones, the last bucket there, we haven't been using that. They are currently working exclusively out of the digital equity grant. So, and that will continue through September. Any questions?
Yes, you had an article in the fall and, obviously that didn't happen.
Glad you brought that up.
Yeah, you're gonna need to try to do it again and, I mean,
I
in the
hope not.
spring. Okay.
I hope not, but we are tight on the personnel budget. I intend to take the next 2 weeks off for health reasons, and maybe I'm planning on a leave of absence in April because I'm just exhausted, and I haven't had a break. I was supposed to get 2 weeks 6 years ago this month, and what happened? COVID. And I'm still trying to get that time. So I really need it before we make a big marketing push. But I'm glad you brought that up, because as we understand it, even though it was passed, the Attorney General is probably going to reject it because free cash and retained
Yeah.
earnings weren't certified. So there's another revenue possibility to use that in FY27. And I will do my best to dance the budget hot shoe and get us through this fiscal year. And I need the time off anyway, so it dovetails with our needs.
So Steve,
Yes.
over the past 5 years, I've heard repeatedly, of the decrease in the cable funding, and fully understand exactly, I understand what's happening. I've also heard we're going to, when it comes to a revenue stream. And I realize this takes some time, and there's been a lot going on. I'm trying to figure out when there'll actually be money coming in from some of these activities.
In the next year, but we're not going to be able to jump right to being sustainable.
No,
It's going to take time, and how I presented it when I presented the business plan in August, You know, to do it in increments, if we do 10,000 this year, try to get 20,000 next year, 30,000 and on up. So we can figure out how to do it because we have to work very efficiently to do that.
No, I get that. What I've been hearing, and it's been over multiple years, is basically the same concerns, the same, we're going to, and I just, you can only do what you can do, and I understand that. But at some point, we got to be able to say and show the proof in the pudding, starting to see the money coming in.
I think you'll see it this year
Okay, all right, thank you.
because it is starting to come in. And we're actually very enthused with the video production stuff we're getting from Montechusett.tv, and that wasn't planned. It's dropping in our lap. I'm not soliciting that. You know, we're trying to work on the TCTV sponsorships as much as we can, but the market here is limited.
Mhm.
And, we're getting a lot of good inquiries about doing other video production stuff. So,
The whole, everything that's under this umbrella provides a lot of good value to the town,
thank you.
to the residents and everything. It's a matter of trying to figure out how to make sure it's sustainable and it's funded and people aren't being, worked to death and everybody is being compensated appropriately, and it's a matter of trying to figure out how to pull all that together. And, it'd be really nice to see
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah. Your committee member, Noel, I think put it best, he put it in good perspective. He said, you're basically building it a brick at a time.
Mhm.
Even though it's brick and mortar and, if you have a sideline or something like that, you can't devote full time to it. So, we devote what time we can to trying to build these things up. But as I said, I'm not a salesman and a marketer. I have a great one sitting by the door that I want to unleash on that. And he's out there making friends, and that's what you need to do. We need to get out there, make more friends, build trust, and that builds clientele. So
Thank you.
we're getting there. And I apologize if it's taken so long. We had a gentleman years ago on our cable committee from Acton, which has been mentioned numerous times in relation to us. And he said, it's going to take you 10 years to build it up to the point where you can realize it.
Okay.
And I think we're pretty much on track with that. And frankly, I think we lost 3 years to COVID, not just 2. And as a result, maybe messy some days, but you have a nice hybrid meeting room here, which is the envy of some other communities, and a fledgling news organization.
You've done a lot of good things.
Thank you.
How many people are watching today? Do you know?
Right now,
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe Anna or Aaron might be able to tell.
One moment.
Right now about 10 people are watching, but I'd like to say that the first video has already gotten over 120 views just from this morning.
Well, good. Thank you.
Yeah, the afternoon usually doesn't do as well.
But that's all right. They come back, they watch it later. Yes. This is what I was mentioning at a select board meeting, at an advisory board meeting. We need to have more people in town be aware that this PCTV exists.
I think we're
Because if
just
you know
scratching the
it,
surface.
You don't even know. You don't know that you can watch these meetings on television. That's why I'd like to have the light company send out a flyer with the bills, because they go to everybody, and let people know that.
Well, we're talking to them about sending out a survey
Well,
that
that's
we have to do anyways for the Comcast negotiation.
because I have people across the street, and that's one of the first things I went. I told them how to call for help if they need it. I'll dispatch, don't call 911.
Yeah.
And they need to know that you exist and they can listen to meetings on the way to Boston if that's where they're working. Because not everyone can come.
And that's what we're trying to do is make it accessible to as many people as possible. Pat Gale always reminds me, not everybody's on Facebook.
That's right.
And that's why we want to do a mailing with a newsletter to people, at least to start out. Mailings are expensive, but they're very effective. I'm not going to put it in the budget. I think we can do it out of the digital equity grant if they give us permission to do it. So don't be shocked in a few months if you see a few mailings go.
Because if you're doing all this, the more people that get involved in the town, especially young ones, the better off the whole community's gonna be.
Yeah.
I've been around long enough, may I say, that I remember when it was you and that other kid,
Sean,
Sean, all alone.
who's now on the cable committee.
Yeah, he's a sweetheart. Of course, I haven't seen him for a long time, but yeah, the two of you did it all.
Yeah.
Done all the work. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate all of you.
You mind if I say something? I'll just
Steve, you want to say something?
you mind if I say? I'll just get at, talking about how some people don't even know what TCTV does, let alone Montechusett TV, like what they offer. One of the things I've been talking to Steve about is doing kind of a reintroduction, or, in one of the maybe select board meetings or some of the other meetings we have where we kind of just go through what it is so that the town knows more fully, like what they can get from it, what it does for them. Even like you're talking about how, a lot of people are on social media, we're trying to get some of the stuff off of that onto the Montechusett TV site with TCTV so that people who don't have Facebook can, watch the meetings and learn about the stuff that's going on with the community. You don't even, to me, I do social media work and stuff, right? But I totally understand why people don't want to be on social media.
But if you go, if you move it to the schools, there's no way for you to know.
Exactly.
Everything you say.
So in my mind, the more I can have things that are available not in that sphere is
You know
better
what?
for everyone.
The only way I know that I can reach some people is to get on Facebook, and I forwarded it and told everyone this meeting was going on today and that they needed to be informed. I mean, even if it reaches a handful and then it goes to another handful, it's better off than we were before.
Yeah.
You know?
And one of the things I forgot to mention that Alex did this past week or so is he built a TCTV page on Montechusett.tv where all the news is
Okay.
in one spot for people. So we encourage you to check that out. And we'll
Okay,
go from there.
that's,
For your support.
personnel, Mr. Dunn.
Yeah, good with person.
Employee support, mass access membership, that's our kind of our local trade group of other public access TV stations. They run a nice forum. I get a lot of good information there. We share information. It's only $100 a year. The Chambers of Commerce memberships, I'm actually hoping to get a partnership with the Gardner Chamber of Commerce, and I think we could benefit each other. So maybe they'll waive the membership fee, and there's two of them in there because I think, with Montechusett.tv, we want to go to Fitchburg and Leominster as well. And sometimes there are events that, you have to pay $15, $20 to get in, but I've firmed up TCTV sponsorships at Gardner Chamber of Commerce events in Gardner. So, and, that's the only place I got to really talk to Karen at Crows and Matt at Valley View and some other people. And I think Sean at Lickety Splits, and, they're all sponsors for us. So that works out really well. The staff training and education we haven't been using, but I like to have it available for, hey, if somebody wants to take somebody on staff wants to take a photography course or something at the Mount, we can do that. So. And the scholarships and the Toastmasters, we just can't be doing. Only one person took us up on Toastmasters, but I think everyone could use it. I'm going to go back and work on my speaking. We can all use it. Tuesday nights in Gardner now at WBI, second and fourth Tuesdays of the month. If anyone's interested.
My question is employee support.
Services is kind of full. I've been over the past few years, reorganizing our budget better. So all our services is in one place. We pay a whopping amount for Comcast phone and internet service. Most of that is $580 is at the Light Department garage where we broadcast from. Would like to get that down, but we had to upgrade a couple years ago because your meetings were buffering. And that was the choke point. And it cost $200 more to get, 1.2 gigabits per second instead of 800. And we just got Scout Hall hooked up. Unfortunately, we had to order a new router for that. So it might be another couple weeks before we're in there. But I think may have got that down from 270 to 250. And there is a government site now, or a government branch of Comcast now that we can go through and tax exempt. And it may be worth checking out for some of the other bills. I don't know. When I first called the guy, I think I woke him up. So I think it's a new thing there, and we had to go round and round. I won't go through every line. Feel free to ask questions.
You're talking about having the garage in Baldwinville. Is there any way to bring that stuff down to and use just Scouts Hall?
I've looked into it. I'll say one thing, I don't want the TV server there because it makes a lot of noise. And, you know, it's a video computer that's running 24/7, so it fans up on, yeah, it's loud, and we record stuff there. I did look into it with Comcast. They need a dedicated fiber line. When we first put it in 3 Elm Street in 2007 to 10, $16,000 to run 600 feet of fiber. Yeah. They were, so, they never even got back to me on that, and I don't know where it would run. Probably to one of the nodes. But again, I don't want the server there unless we could put it behind a soundproof door, you know? So I'm okay with it at 3.
Or just that it's gotta heat you're heating it in.
Yeah, we're heating the garage and the server's behind a closed door with air conditioning on.
Yeah.
You know, sorry. That's the way it is,
But you don't need the neighbors pounding on the door because you're keeping them awake all night.
yeah, I mean, it doesn't make that much noise, but if you're recording something there, we already deal with the traffic. You don't want something humming in the background. That will sound really bad on tape.
You're running promotional and advertising. You have to.
All the promotional and advertising budget, that's just good to have if we run promotions, and, you know, we've used that in the past to buy apparel that we can do giveaways for. Alex is printing out a lot of stuff and bringing them and hanging signs. So, you know, we need some budget for that. We will also, if we have a client and we want to boost their Facebook post, that money should be spent on that. Right now, whenever we boost a Facebook post, I'm sponsoring that and I'm paying it out of my pocket. But we would like to be able to do that. And, you know, we haven't been doing much with it, but I do think at some point you have to do that. And the advertising budget, I just rolled that into that this year. So, and I would have spent $500 on an ad for the Theater of the Mount programs for Montechusett TV if we can, because I think that would be the audience for that. So there are some things there that we can do. I canceled out the Adobe Creative Cloud because no one was using it. It's $1,100. I think we could get that through a nonprofit, through either WBI or Digital Lab. And some of the things down below would be for when we do an email newsletter, Constant Contact, and DocuSign. The Castus Cloud yearly subscription, we're using that right now to stream our meetings. So as we cloud stream it. And the Castus TV service is kind of the customer warranty service. I mean, the hardware warranty is gone. So if that thing croaks, we got to buy a new one. But it's good to have the service when we have trouble, and sometimes we have trouble with it. And they also offer training as well. The other thing is the $4,000 for the web hosting and service. That's for Montechusett.tv. It sounds like a lot. I think you're paying $7,000 for your yearly subscription to your website. We are considering a web server, maybe at WBI. However, our cable chair, Gage Pacier, who's an IT specialist, just warns me that, you know, you have security calls and ADA compliance that you have to do, so that may be an issue. I do plan to talk to the web developer about a partnership with Montechusett.tv. I'm just uncomfortable doing that without an RFP.
So a couple of different things.
Mhm.
So the MyMac subscription, multiple computers, shouldn't this already be included in the IT budget for, no?
No, because it's ideally it's paid out of here because of the cable enterprise fund.
Oh, okay.
And he's the only one that uses that Mac Paw Clean My Mac thing.
All right.
It's a scrubber. It gets rid of junk files.
Okay. The other thing is the web hosting service of it looks like a quantity of $4,000 each,
Yeah.
right? And you said you thought that the town was $7,000?
That's
Mr.
gonna be
Ryan?
in the IT budget,
Website.
just so we can go over, yeah, he's talking about our website.
Yeah. Okay.
We can go over it when we get to the IT budget, unless you want me
Okay.
to flip to it now.
Well, it's that, I mean, it was just a question, right? And my other question, and this is really directed to you, Mr. Ryan,
Yes, ma'am.
is, throughout the different department budgets, right? We have phone and internet service and stuff. Some of it we'll see in a different meeting. I am under the impression, and I could be completely wrong,
Mhm.
that these are all separate contracts, separate negotiations, separate everything. And if they are, is that something we can look at pulling together? And
I don't think that's true.
Okay, all right.
Vonage is one, like, thing, because those are our desk phones. We get our cell phones through AT&T. What other things did you mention?
Internet service specifically.
Internet service all through Comcast. They bill it by building, but it's all through Comcast.
All right, so
So when I log into like the website, 'cause I had to do this when we had no one in the office. I can switch between buildings. So, but it's all Comcast.
so that basically we're getting the best price we can get across all of these different departments.
Comcast is usually the only group in town, except for some areas, maybe it's Verizon, but Comcast basically has a monopoly on this, so.
Like I said earlier, you may be able to go through the government arm now on the Comcast business website. It took a lot of time. I don't know if it was worth it for me, but
Yeah,
I think we got what we wanted.
I'm just trying to find
Yeah.
any way we can, if we can.
Because you can use all these different companies, but they don't work.
Yeah.
You know?
Trying to see if we have
Comcast does.
any negotiation power there, because if we're all doing little bits and pieces, whether or not there's one. Yeah,
No, Comcast is all in one bill.
all right,
So-
thank you.
So I see that the drone insurance, you have the drone. So I don't know, it's just, I just want to throw this out here. I want to. So they've been using a lot of drones to locate and find dogs, missing animals. So I didn't know if that would be something you might want to look into with the with animal control officers or
Yeah,
whatever.
that could be.
To look into seeing if that's something.
People too.
The owners of the dogs will pay a fee to set up the drone to go up to try to help find their dog. And it's really kind of fascinating if you have especially if you have a heat sensor on it, you can, yeah, so I've been seeing a lot of those videos. And I was thinking of you guys, because you have the drone insurance, if you have somebody that.
Yeah, that should be a one-time cost. It was on last year. Mr. Ryan reminded me that. I bought it last year because we wanted to fly and it requires a credit card and I had an identical drone, so we're flying that. Yeah,
But it's a revenue source possibly, and something to help the community. We see a lot of missing animals.
somebody had mentioned with the property on Royalston Road that they can't get to because of the brush.
Yeah, that's another thing too.
And Terry Griffiths had said, yeah, I said, give me a call. We'll fly the drone over it for you.
See, if it's wet or something, you can't get through there.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, the one I see, the service I seen, the owner was paying to have them go up for them.
And look,
So that could be a fee, yeah.
Even if a kid gets lost or an elderly person.
that's
It's the one the police said.
the
And
police.
as you
Yeah,
know,
lost or a blink up.
also, if you wanted to market industrial and commercial land, like the lots up by Baltimore
videos.
Road or Route 2, and here's what an aerial view of that. We would love to do that for you.
I have a question in regards to
Sure.
that posting and service. You had mentioned Massachusetts. Can you explain to me how that rolls into that? $4,000?
Well, it's just like you would hire the web developer to build your site and host it. So that's, we get bills for $800 to $900. It's over $900 now a quarter. And that includes the web hosting, the security for it, the ADA compliance, and sometimes we need them to do other things. So you're welcome. And like I said, I'm hoping to get a partnership with them. Yeah, and maybe eliminate it altogether.
Animal purchase service. All good. Fixed item.
The other stuff is pretty easy, the supplies, that's a big round number because I didn't really know what we would need. That actually came as a remnant from 15,000 that we used to do with capital every year for miscellaneous expenses. We just had to start spending it now because we need a new router for Scout Hall and I ordered a few supplies. I don't know what it's gonna be this year. I'll go by next year's budget. I'll go by what we spent this year because this looks more like a normal year. Heating oil usually doesn't come to $1,000, but you never know. That's for 3 Elm Street for the light department barn.
And that too is from that approved that front salary?
Whoever's the
Yeah.
oil vendor now. Yeah. The 5,600 stuff I leave to Mr. Ryan.
Oh, the capital, yeah, I mean, these are more capital items that I think we did not include in the,
Yeah,
budget.
and the capital stuff is gonna be part of the pilot with light department.
Okay, we don't have that page.
Yeah, we only go to 5,700.
Mine does.
We go from 54 to 40 to 57.
Oh,
So I say that again, you could go to
We
what?
go from 5,400
5700.
to 57.
Yeah, isn't that what we're talking about?
He said
No.
56.
No, there was a couple of missing pages from the original.
the intergovernmental
One to
I was talking about for the 5,600.
That's
Insurance stuff and.
that's zero, right? Is that zero?
I like to look at, see
Yeah.
what it was.
Yeah, it's all the stuff that's going into the light program.
So what are they giving you for a
Hold
pilot
on,
there?
hold on, hold on. Someone's talking about 5,600.
5,600.
I think I was zeros. You have an older copy, right?
Candace?
Do you have 5,600 page?
Yeah, I have this page, the one that pilot, yeah, it's from a draft one.
That's,
So it's 5,600? That's zero, right? It's intergovernmental?
Yes,
This says others.
others is 5,700.
and then there's other under 57.
Oh, yeah.
So the pages that were zeroed, I took them out because it was a waste of paper because I don't know what was happening prior years, but in a lot of the templates, there's just blank pages. So I don't know if
No.
things moved at one point. So yeah.
It just sounded like there was something on the page.
Yeah, well, there's $28,000 possibility of stuff.
No,
but
that's 5,700.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Yeah, that's 57.
Steven,
Yeah.
Steven, what are they giving you for a pilot?
Okay.
We've got the 50,000 last year and they agreed to extend it for any unused money.
Whoa.
We haven't. I wasn't gonna ask them for.
Oh, I think it's
for-
fine.
And,
They can afford
you know,
it.
we've been frugal. We haven't spent any of it.
They can
I'm trying to
afford it.
hang on to it as much as possible.
Good. What?
So, you know, the stuff in 5,700 is kind of incomplete. This is what I submitted to Mr. Ryan. The light department has the list of the things that we would buy with that.
All right.
Fine.
Thank you, Light Department.
Yes, we're very grateful for them. So sorry for the confusion on
Oh,
that.
no, I thought.
I'm confused as well.
They all are.
Listen, you're all set.
Yes. Any other questions? Thank you all. Thank you.
Next up is the assessors. That's all the way in the front of your budget, after accounting and before IT.
Hello, members of the board, hello, advisory committee.
This is last.
Hey, Justice.
My meeting now.
Before we begin, I just want to ask, I know that, included within your budget books are also items, regarding overlay with, exemptions and also the revaluation account. I would like to start presenting with our expense accounts, if that's okay with everybody. Okay. And then we can get to that later. Before we start, I don't know if everybody has this. Sometimes you guys get a copy of it. It's the levy limit worksheet from this fiscal year 2026. Is that something that anybody would want a copy of as we go through the budget process, or?
You got a copy of it?
Yeah, I have a copy of it.
Thank you.
Wait for the day that you're the CA here, you know.
Organized.
Should I leave?
I mean, look at this down the road.
What did he say?
Just like, can I leave?
Thank you, sir.
Steve, come on.
Because Justin's waiting for the day that your TA.
Yeah, 1 year. Years, we need to bring it higher.
Secession plan. There you go.
Yeah, no problem, everyone. All right, so just for everybody out there, I'm Justice Graves. I'm the Deputy Assessor for the Board of Assessors. What you have in front of you, I'll just go over the overall budget number for our department is $115,428, increase of about $6,178 from last year. Starting with our personnel account, you will see that there is an increase for me as the deputy assessor, up from 69,783. That is up 5.46% from last year. The reasoning being that, to keep the position in line and not too far off from other finance departments, taking into consideration that I am a newer department head as well. I can tell you that my current salary is at 66,168. So you're looking at an increase of just about 3,615. Are there any questions regarding that?
Congratulations and well deserved.
But you gotta speak up, because
Yeah, no, that's fine, but I can speak up a little bit more. That's okay.
different, there's,
So-
yeah.
That's okay. We have our administrative assistant, and our administrative assistant is scheduled for about 19 and a half hours a week. There's also an additional 5 weeks for floating hours for whenever I am out of the office due to vacation sickness or for vacation time, vacation sickness or for conferences. That has an increase of a 2.5 cost of living adjustment as was instructed by the town administrator. So that is why you see that there. So are there any questions on my personnel account or our personnel account?
Pretty quick.
Okay, thank you. All right, going into our 5110, our employee support. Membership dues did go up this year for the Massachusetts Association of Assessing Officers. You would have received documentation that showed that increase. It's up to $100 per member now. Our entire office is a member of the MAAO, and I'm required to be a member of the MAAO in order to keep with my Massachusetts Accredited Assessor certification. This line item, education conferences and workshops, is down about $400. For the last several years, while we did increase it because I was newer and because of the need for me to take additional classes, I'm still taking a lot of offerings that are going on, but I am an accredited assessor. And currently, even with the increases that have happened post-COVID and that still seem to show up here and there, we've never spent, over that amount for education offerings. So in the future, this will have to go up, but for the budget this year, this can be reduced. So that is something that we did. Worcester County Assessors Association, there's a small increase there, but it's just around $300. Those are for our local county meetings and memberships, whether it be, a spring workshop or a clerk's meeting that I might send our administrative assistant to, or some type of symposium. Mileage, most of our mileage is with the town vehicle. However, if me or if my administrative assistant go out to do property visits, which we're required to do, then this is something that allows us to get reimbursed for that. However, you don't usually see it expended too often.
It's the last time it was extended,
It's been quite a number of years, because
you have the town vehicle.
I have the town vehicle, and honestly, when I elect to use my own vehicle to go to conferences or to do property visits, it's just not worth keeping track of it. And I'm already salaried through the town anyway, so it doesn't really bother me, and I live in town. So that's a personal decision. Other deputy assessors and other administrative staff, I've made it very clear that they can do that.
Want to remove this line item?
Well, I still have an administrative assistant, so that might be my personal perspective, but if anything else were to change, or if something ran over. That's the only other thing that I can think of. But in terms of mileage, I mean, we haven't really dipped into it in a number of years. But again, if we needed to, it's there.
There in case.
Yeah.
Notary Public, it's set at 0. I don't need to renew until 2029. Notary Public supplies are at 50. I did have to use some last year. I'm one of the only 2 Notary Publics in the building right now, and so I do need that $50 supply line item in case I need to buy a new notary book, or in case I need to get additional anchor supplies. And that came up. I had already had to buy a new book at some point last year, and I'm already about halfway through it. So, because now there's only 2 of us in the building, me and Carol. So
I mean.
You're not in the building.
that's just something to keep in mind. Miscellaneous. If there's anything that runs over between any of these account or any of these items, we've always had that there. So that's the same request that we have had. And then there's my MAAO certification line. That's a statute that the town adopted, and I am certified, so that is something that gets paid out of there. Are there any questions?
I have 2.
Okay.
And I think you might have already answered one, so I just want to clarify. On the MAAO membership dues, you have a 6. That is including the Board of Assessors.
Yeah, so that includes the 3 board members, myself and Ann, so that's 5 people, and then there's 1 additional in case there's ever a turnover. Which I have had turnover with my assistant over the last 2 years, so then I would have to re-enroll. So that is.
Okay, thank you. And your certification, the
Yeah.
last one down, how often do you have to do that?
We have to do it every 2 years. I got certified in December of 2024. They're saying I don't have to renew until 2027, but I'm going to question them this summer about that because that doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense. It used to be every 3 years, but because they wanted to encourage people to do, you might have seen it in a weekly report. It's called the Uniform Standards of Appraisal Practices USPAP. I had to take a 7-hour update course. So okay.
I just felt bad for the poor guy. It sounds
USPAP is not that bad.
7 hours, Justice. That's 7 hours.
They don't do it all at once.
Oh, okay. Well, that's better. Yeah.
You get like a lunch break.
We've been here for almost that long already.
Exactly, Bob.
Well, thank you, Justice. You answered my question.
problem.
Excellent.
Kept paying attention and going back and revisiting this, but the mileage, can that just fall under your miscellaneous? It's barely ever used. I'm just everybody
To keep it
counts.
all squared away.
Just like.
It looks nice and neat. I appreciate that it looks neat.
Yeah, I like where your head's at. The only thing I would caution is that with these small departments, any overage could put their entire budget over. So, you know,
We have you getting use.
Fair.
Enough to worry about.
So in terms of the line item itself, not much, but I would have to go back through my expenses over the years, and we have, I would say, dipped pretty close to what we've expended out of there occasionally. It can only take 1 or 2 classes or conferences off to push that over, because they're over $500 a pop. No, that's okay. That's perfectly valid.
So I nail plan.
Besides, it's fine you anyway.
So, and, you know, said in jest before about becoming, you know, a TA eventually, which really got me to a question, and this is really directed more towards Mr. Ryan.
should I leave? I don't.
That's not what I'm saying. No, please, no. What I'm trying to say is that with all this training, we are being very good, and I appreciate that wholeheartedly. But one of the things is the
Succession planning?
Yes, please. The correct word. I couldn't come up with it.
It's a hard word to say, by the way. It's like S's and C's. It's anyway.
Yeah,
been a long
so
day.
it's been a long day. So, looking at all of this, in the budgets moving forward, probably can't do it, most likely really can't do it this year. Is that something that could be considered in future years from an overall, just general management plan to look at how to get, so that way, you know, he's out of the office for a week or two, and there's somebody who really, you know, he's got an assistant, which is awesome. In your case, right? But trying to get that kind of stuff in place to help, because we have some staff that are coming up on when they wish to retire and need to be working on those things. And
We have 3 department heads, Lori Weeder, Cheryl Richardson, and Carol Harris, who's indicated she could, but she's, you know, she says she's not going to, but, so that's a very good point, because they're all within a couple, 3 years if they choose to go.
right, and Jackie Brand.
And-
No, I'm not asking anybody to leave. But
It's what?
right, but just for, I'm just putting it out there for future conversations, if we could, please.
There's also been a recommendation in the DOR financial review in for 2021 was for the town, the board, this board, you know, to do that, to implement that, to, you know, plan on that stuff, rather than waiting, hey, I'm going out at the end of, you know, June fiscal year, and you go find somebody on the job training, and doesn't work well.
Yeah, so,
So it's a valid
Happening in
point.
that department right now.
okay,
Because Danielle just received her collector's certificate, and she's now going for her treasurer's certificate. Right behind Cheryl, so there's a very nice backup
We
here.
do have that.
okay,
So succession planning's easier when you have staff in a department that can step up. Justice only has a part-time person, and I, you know, don't know what, you know, her future plans could be. But treasure,
Forever.
Oh, nowhere.
but well, I'm just saying, so with departments that don't have full-time staff other than the department head, succession planning becomes tricky. With the treasurer's office, that's what we're hoping will happen, that the assistant will become the lead. And Lori's office, there's, you know, a potential there. So that's kind of, you know, in the back of my mind. And then with the clerk's office, I mean, it's a very regulatory job, a town clerk, but you have an elected town clerk. So that's a problem. As far as succession planning goes. So the other part of succession planning, and we've made little, you know, strides here and there, is paying employees competitive so that when they retire, we can attract someone who has that experience from surrounding towns. So in some cases, I think we'll be okay. In some cases, I think the salary is too low. So at some point we're going to get hit unless we start slowly, you know, adjusting it over time.
I just wanted to put it on the
Yeah.
conversation map someplace.
In Carol's place, she was the town resident. She was the assistant town clerk working in the office. So when the prior town clerk retired, she could run for office. If you have an assistant clerk who's basically an employee, unelected, but doesn't live in Templeton, you put all the training into her, but unless that person moves into Templeton, they can't run for the office, and you essentially get somebody elected who is on the job training. So it adds,
Somebody's brother-in-law.
that's where
Good luck.
elected stuff was tough.
Right, thank you for the side conversation.
And no person
that
got
happens.
employee support. Move on to the next item.
All right.
So purchase of services account 5,200. You will see increases for a small increase on about $10 over last year for the Gardner News subscription. Our office is the one that does carry it for the town. Anytime there's any notices for probate, that's one of the ways that I get access to that more readily than going through MassCore or going to the Register of Probate.
This subscription is different than the others that I've seen with the other different departments, throughout different departments? Or is it?
So I carry the subscription for town hall, meaning that I physically get the newspaper both in electronic and print format. So other town departments, if I'm thinking correctly, they're not carrying the subscription. Like I know Lori does development service have a line item that you're thinking of?
Yeah.
Okay, she doesn't carry the subscription. I have to show her things when that comes up. My understanding of it would be, and you would want to follow up on this is, that it's for posting, like for legal ads and such. If the town wanted to do something, her department does a lot of activities, and under statute, they have to do a legal notice in the paper of record in the town, which is the gardener's case.
Thank you so much.
That makes sense. Sorry to just step in there. I've been around I see it too much in the newspaper.
I appreciate that.
So that's one thing. Equipment repairs, this would be for anything like our measuring devices. I also have a laser in my office, a laser tool if I need to measure much larger structures as well. So that's in case I need to repair or replace that, or if I need to repair or replace my camera, or get one of my SD cards decided to just go on the fritz because I had taken too many pictures with it, so I had to buy a new one. So that's what can happen there. Vision Government Solutions, that was an increase on that line item of 15.58%. Vision is our real estate and personal property software in order to develop and maintain the tax rolls in town. So that is the yearly license subscription that we have with them. Is there any questions about that? Yes.
Is that an agreement or a contract, or is that just year to year you have to purchase software?
We have to have CAMA system. That's a requirement. You have to have a computer assisted mass appraisal software. In terms of agreements, we've been in software agreement with Vision since I believe they started, or right after they started their computing. When they were their evaluation service, and they do the software. So that's an old that's an old agreement with them. I don't think I've ever seen the original agreement.
I'm just wondering if it had any price structure, because the 15% just seems like a, hefty increase. That's all.
So
Anybody else
if
have-
we look at, when they send out their increases every year, they send out a letter to us. So let me look at.
And we have to utilize them?
Well, they're our current software vendor. So if we were to switch, which I know a couple of towns have been upset with the increases that have happened over the last several years, because it has been over 10%. It's fluctuated, but it's been over 10% the last few years. But if we did, you would have to convert CAMA systems, whether or not, regardless, doing a cost to convert, we would have to see not only what the base price over time would be for the licensing fees, but then you would have to do a full CAMA conversion, which would automatically require us to do a full, we would have to do a study in order to submit to the DOR in order to ensure compliance with our assessment rules at that point, because to switch a system and to convert, like the way that Vision is set up is not the way that Catalyst or Patriot, which are two other programs that do real estate, are set up. So it's not a one-to-one matchup. When there's a conversion that's done, there's going to be errors. I've never heard of a conversion that happened that never had errors.
The years and years have you.
Yeah, but that's the thing, is like, I see a consistent thing throughout our departments is we're at the mercy of a lot of these people. For instance, Comcast, now Vision, the bus company with the school, like, I'm just seeing that we're at their mercy and we're just continuously having to pay the increases.
Yep.
With.
Fire trucks. And it kind of comes down to, this is,
like everything.
yeah.
Like,
no, exactly. And this comes down to, there's a reason why municipalities do this work as opposed to the private sector. It's very specialized. A lot of what we do, it's very particular. And unfortunately, there's not a big enough market to make different vendors come in and want to do a lot of this stuff. And so this is one of those kind of quirky things. A lot of tasers, for example, which is the name brand, they're called electronic control devices. But for a long time, there may be two now, but for a long time, Taser was the only Massachusetts certified brand. And so every police department around had tasers. And it's such a common thing. We all call them tasers. That's actually the brands, like Band-Aid. It's so common, that's what we call them. But, so this is one of those sort of quirky things, and yeah, you're right. And all those things that you mentioned, yeah. And even website hosting. There's been a consolidation of website hosting. Years ago, people used like the big two were city, I think it's cities, towns and schools or something, and then Civic Plus, and Civic Plus ate the other one. And so there's been this big consolidation in these types of things.
So if I may ask on that same sort of subject, right, that number of the departments have very specialized software, right? That is there any appetite? Is there any room? Is there any benefit to looking at, you know, a couple of vendors as opposed to 5 or 6 vendors, right? That can cover, you know, it's like Civics Plus can cover a lot of different things. There's some things that they can't handle that are very, very specialized, but to get the communication going better between the systems and get everything. I don't know how much double entry we're doing. I don't, you know, I don't have visibility to any of that.
So I'll give you an example to kind of matches what you're saying. So
Yeah.
Munis software does a lot of stuff, right? You can have your treasurers have modules on it, maybe even assessors, but I know accounting, treasurers, there's HR modules, budget modules, but Munis is insanely expensive. It'd be like having a full-time employee, basically. That's the cost of that. So again, you get to this sort of specialized thing. Munis has this control. So a lot of towns use Vadar for just their accounting software, and I'm not sure what the treasurer uses for her side of things. So that's kind of the issue. There's different things we need and very particular vendors that do those things, and there really isn't any competition out there. But we do look at that stuff periodically, yeah.
Thank you.
No, that's fine. And I just wanted to add to that, that even if you switch vendors, you know, Vision doesn't just do the software, they're also have the valuation specialists that are comfortable with that system. So when you typically go out, there are a few private contractors that are familiar with Vision and a couple other ones at the same time, but you're primarily dealing with contractors or Vision themselves who know how to do those services, whether it be interim statistical work, full valuation services, or if you're just looking to do, you know, bits and pieces of things here and there with them. If you switch over to a company like Patriot, then it's the same situation with each and every single one. There's only a few either private vendors or a few individuals who know that software well. Some Canvas systems don't do personal property. Vision does do personal property. So that's something that most of them do, but there are a couple that don't. So that's something that you have to keep in mind as well. And so it's just, there's only a few options. I hate to say it.
Okay.
But look,
Really seem cost effective to switch. It seems like you need to do it for a.
right.
Yeah.
Then, you know,
But
it's always been that way, so we're just gonna continue down that road. I'm gonna take us for a rip.
But it's the airport scenario. They have us at their mercy and they know it. And just like auditing firms, there used to be this many, but they've been bought up, so there's now a small number. And the town switched from like one account because we got pushed into the corner, because when the vendor account left, this software was only good support for 1 year, and we switched to Vadar, but the mess happened because it's not gonna go smooth. And they know that. You know, it's the same thing with the school busing contracts. You bid over in this section of town, I'll play in this section of the state, and we're just at their mercy.
It's not,
And it's,
It's a niche market, unfortunately.
Yeah.
and it's frustrating for small towns like us.
yeah, I don't know if the headaches and the errors and how far that can put you behind potentially is worth trying to save, you know, a couple $1,000, because what it would cost you in the mess.
Thousands spread out, you know, throughout the different departments.
But the mess that you can get you in and
Jeffrey, remember the guy that used to do our books?
cost you.
When he left and we had a new system
Yeah.
and he was gonna help us and somebody was stupid enough to say, no, we don't need you. And it took us forever and a day.
It
to get
was
straightened out.
it was a money issue on that.
Oh, yes, but we ended up in big trouble.
That's
for-
what can happen.
Yeah. Oh, I thought it was awful.
Anything on purchase services?
No.
anything like that?
That was good conversation. Thank you.
The only other thing I'll mention is also an increase due to our mapping services and the contract with them. So you see, there was an example or a copy of that increase as well. And then record preservation, we do have some microfilm on file with Eastern Micrographics. So we pay for that as well. It's old maps and aerial photographs. So.
Something we pay every year?
Yeah, it's something we pay every year. The cost is about it's around $60 to $58 every year.
Well, they are doing the digital conversions. Is that something that we can look into?
I can certainly ask.
Okay.
It's not anything that I
Then that way we can
explored.
just have them on CD or whatever and.
we have certain things. Yeah, no, I can double check on that, but like I said, a lot
$62.
but a lot of this stuff we are required to keep it as permanent records. So just
You better have somebody else to.
all right. Any questions? Supplies, this is the same request that we had last year. $600 for office supplies, whether it be, folders, pens, that sort of material, or I had to just get a new chair for our administrative assistant in the office. So is there any questions on that?
So with the office supplies, you're doing paper envelopes posted, like am I wrong?
No, so office supply, so postage I keep separate from this. That's in my other account. So we can talk about that. But office supplies would be like folders, labels. If I needed to get a new ribbon, even though it's lasted quite a while for our typewriter,
We're still using a typewriter?
for certain things, not, I have a full electronic computer system.
Well,
We're not sending it
The
back to-
advocate,
I'm
right there.
sorry.
Pull it out, Kate.
And the quill pen,
Yeah, but the abacus works when the power's on.
Or the internet stuff.
Okay.
He just can't believe it.
And your paper is included in there, I'm assuming?
I don't do the purchasing for paper in our office. That usually comes out of the select board with what paper comes through the building. It's usually shared between myself, the clerk, development services, treasurer collector, accounting, and the select board office when we get it.
They all work together. Imagine that.
You know, imagine that, huh?
All right, thank you.
Amazing.
Are there any questions on supplies?
I'll keep moving.
Okay. Other accounts, so this is where we do our postage. So this amount of 542 is the same request as last year. This includes for us to have several rolls of rubber stamps, several rolls of postcard stamps. We try to save money and do postcards for certain reminders for people, as well as when we're going out and canvassing certain streets during cyclical. So we do spend for that. That also includes the cost of shipping our annual maps to Cartographics, so that, or our plans to Cartographics for the year. So that way I can update our maps so that we can stay in compliance and get state 911 monies. So that's a part of it as well. So are there any questions on postage?
No, but I do have a question in regards to the registry of deeds, why you're paying $2.
That is it. So the registry of deeds, we pay $2 per page of the plan. So anytime a plan is filed, I have to have a copy of that plan in order to update my maps. So what happens is I can see it when it's filed in the registry, and then they send a full plan sized copy to my office, and for every page it's $2. So if we file, 20 plans in a year, it's $40. In fiscal year 2025, I blew through $40 because the state did a plan for the Fernald School, and it was 20 pages. So that was above and beyond so it's kind of a moving target with that. If the state decided to do more over at the Fernald School, I would have to pay more, but it's $2. I can't change that with the register. We used to also, and I found this out because we were talking at an assessors meeting not long ago that there have been certain changes to the Registry of Deeds website. They used to actually charge us in order for us to receive the deeds electronically before they went online. And when they changed that, it was about a couple of dollars per disc if they would send that to us. And that's not something that we can negotiate with them. That's every city and town receives these bills. If you were to see the expense warrants, they're actually mostly handwritten from the Registry of Deeds. So. And that's kind of a, that's based on what's been happening the last several years. If there's a larger trend and we can reduce that, but $40 for Worcester Registry of Deeds plans.
Nice job.
So I think this would be a good time to go into our request for revaluation monies. Does everybody have that as well with their packets?
Before it.
Yeah, all the documents with words, I guess I'll say, are in the beginning.
5-year plan.
So it's a $20,000 request. If you remember last year when I had sat with you, it came to our office's attention within.
We're finding it.
You're finding it? All right.
It's the very, that was the beginning pages.
So it would be, at the top, it would say article for ATM May 2026 for FY 2027. Property valuation account. Everybody have that? And then on the page behind it would be kind of an analysis for it. So something, all right, is everybody good?
We don't have our lives together, that's just, that's it.
That's it. Okay.
It looks like that's it. All right, all right. Everybody's good. All right. So this year, the Board of Assessors are asking for $20,000 from the tax levy in order to put monies away for our upcoming 2030 revaluation, as well as for our statistical updates and our cyclical inspections, and for purchase of support upgrades. So you can see on the next page that the reason we do this is because revaluations and certain measure and certain requirements within the Department of Revenue, Division of Local Services, are required for towns and happen over a many-year span. Revaluations happen once every 5 years now. They used to be once every 3 years. Cyclical reviews, you are required to visit every property at least once within a 10-year span. So if I visit a property today, I need to make sure that I visit that property another time before that 10 years is up. You can spread that out over time, which is what our office does. That rule changed with the DOR because some towns were using the cyclical review process to do all of their cyclical within the last year of their 10-year window, and the DOR was not pleased with that, so they updated their standard. If you remember, we used to talk about how it was about every 9 years, and then you would have a certification year where they would review it. Well, now every time I go into a 3-year update, which is basically a check-in with the DOR to say, are you getting ready for revaluation in 2030? So in, FY 2028, I'm going to have a phone call and a conversation with the DOR, and we're going to go back and forth and talk about where we're at with things. And then in fiscal year 2030, they're going to they'll do the full valuation review, as well as both years they pull my my visit history log to make sure that I'm actually going out there. So I have a visit history log that they can pull and see who we marked down as going to those properties. That's why we take a lot of photos when we go out, because
As
if
family for clients. I'm just kidding.
can't do that.
Can't do that. He's gotta go.
No, I'm just kidding.
You're now at the top of the list.
Okay, wise guy.
See, for a year. Colonial.
So that's just something to keep in mind, as well as the fact that we do use this account in order to support our server, our local server that we have for our camera system. as well as if there are any specialty items. They're called directives from the Department of Local Services. Some of them do have one-time cost increases. If it's over $10,000, we would have to, depending on what it is over $10,000, we would have to go in front of course, the capital process. If it's not, like a couple of I want to say 2 fiscal years ago in preparation for our 2025 reval, I had to do a neighborhood tax map upgrade, a color-coded neighborhood tax map upgrade with cartographic. So that was a one-time cost to get that implemented. So those are things that can happen, and those carry over a multiple year schedule. So that schedule in front of you is where it says, this is subject to change, revaluation analysis, and estimated schedule. If you remember us coming here last year, there was a request because we didn't actually have to spend as much money for our revaluation as we had anticipated in fiscal year 2025. So we had lowered our request to $15,000 for fiscal year 2026's tax levy. Unfortunately, that was removed in the budgeting process, and that of course has a ripple effect across the remaining years. So we are asking for usually we ask between $20,000 and $22,500. So that's the request in front of you. If I had heard correctly during earlier budget conversations, and I know that myself and the TA have talked about this, is the plan still to fund it through free cash? Is that what we're doing?
No, not at the moment. Right now it's just in the budget being counted as regular tax impact money.
Okay. All right.
It could change, but I don't know.
Okay, I was just going to say, because this is a regular expense of the town that we know is coming up, that is just something that the Board of Assessors have talked about, that it needs to come out of the tax levy or the other general revenues, because in the past, there have been close calls with having necessary funding, especially when we used to be in our 3-year certification cycles. So that's just something to keep in mind. The way that I break out the chart, some of those, or break out those expenses, some of those can actually cross between different years. Some things of note that even within certain fiscal years, we were talking about vision earlier. One of the things that can happen with vision, and it hasn't happened in about I think just about a decade now, but it could happen within the next few years or starting in the 2030s, is a major support upgrade that requires a cost of installation fee, which is usually over $10,000 to $20,000 when that does happen. Hasn't happened in quite a number of years, but we do use this account when we can to hedge against that. But that hasn't come up, but it's been over a decade. So the very real possibility of vision needing to do a major supportive upgrade is something that's on our mind. And we do need the funds. This is actually an issue. I'm actually going to pass something additional out that I think all of you can take your time and read, but I do want to highlight that the DOR had sent out budget issues and other related matters. In the past several years, I haven't seen them include this, but it was interesting that they did this year because this has been coming up at a lot of conferences. It is about revaluation articles, and it's about revaluations and how towns are not properly budgeting money ahead for their cyclical reviews and revaluations. And I know of a couple of communities that did not and had to start the work without the proper appropriations. And I can tell you, when I had done the reval back with our contractors for fiscal year 2025, when I started contracting with them back in December and November and December of 2024, that I would either get explicit emails or phone calls. Do you have the funds right now? Like, do you have them today? If I were to charge you this full contract amount, could you pay it? And the answer was yes, because unfortunately, there are communities that that don't have that and have not been preparing for that. And there have been some issues, and that impacts, we do a lot of government related activities because we are a government agency after all. But in terms of business relationships with these independent contractors or with these bigger businesses, like say, the real estate research, consultants that we work with personal property or with vision directly, is something that we have to be mindful of if we're going to have, these contractors come in. So I'm gonna pass this out. It's called the FY 2027 budget issues. I didn't print the whole thing out. But you are more than free to look at what I highlighted, and you're more than free to go on MassGov and then read the whole thing for yourselves. Oh, sorry.
Deb Wagner still working, huh?
Yeah, she's still the director of accounts as of right now.
Thank you.
Moved up then.
As well.
Thank you, sir.
So that's just something to keep in mind. I've actually never seen them highlight anything about revaluation like that in the last several years. And I know several towns that have been really close to not doing their certifications. We are not anywhere near that problem necessarily yet. But because of what happened last year, last minute with the town administrator, I don't want to overly worry anybody, but it does, if there needs to be more conversations about this, if there needs to be more of an understanding of how this all plays out, if we have to break it down some other way to help you all understand what's happening, I'm more than willing to do that, because the education on why this is important is fundamental to the ongoing operations of the town, because as you very well know, your largest source of revenue is from real estate and personal property taxation, and not being able to get a timely certification of the tax rate can be a huge issue with regards to that.
Appreciate the fact that you're being proactive in this and it's not something that's gonna catch us off guard at a later date.
So, but whatever happened last year, let's not have that happen this year. Bottom line, yeah.
Declare $25,000 overlay surplus and your article is funded.
Sounds like a plan.
I'm not the one who can do that, Jeff.
But you relay that to your board.
I can certainly relay that to the board. What you're stating is not something technically that the board can declare a transfer into overlay surplus, but ultimately, once those funds are out of their hands, it's up to town meeting and how we.
Quite sure the town meeting will back you guys.
Revenue, general fund revenue. And the last time that the board declared a surplus, it was 87,000 and it was not touched, and that just rolled into free cash. And if you look at the free cash from 670 up to 8 something, that 87,000 was funded.
Already have it done that, so.
Yes.
That's
So that's it in terms of expenses. I know that you guys all have a bunch of information regarding the overlay account. I know that we just touched on something related to the overlay account. I know that I've done a presentation in front of advisory. The select board, I've never had a full conversation with on this. There are 4 articles that the Board of Assessors have submitted for town meeting. It is a much bigger conversation than just, I can go over it. I'm fully prepared to talk about it today. But in terms of thinking of expenses, it is a little bit different. I don't know if one way or the other, we have to go through it anyway, because there are changes that the Board of Assessors want to bring to statutory exemptions to town meeting. So it would be proper for me to go in front of the board and talk about that. You have, it's a multiple page document. There's going to be questions because we're talking about statutory language and statutory exemptions. And, in some cases you can do some things, in some cases you can't do other things with that. So is that something the board would like me to delve into now, or would you like me to come back?
We don't have time now. That's gotta be scheduled for another meeting.
That's what
I think that's a fantastic idea.
I had seen it in there and I had immediately, I had sent your welcome Jeff an email, as well as I had talked to the TA about it, and I just wanted to make sure if anybody had questions, they have that on.
The advisory committee would like you to come in April and talk about stuff. That was discussion at our one. If you.
so
Would be appreciated.
complete with your budget presentation.
Okay. Yep, no, I'm done. There's nothing else that I can think of.
Thanks, John.
Thank
Thank you, Joseph.
Thank you, Jeff.
Usual, great job.
Keep up the great work.
And I'll keep my seat warm for you.
He's got plenty of time before he gets there.
I don't know. I think he wants it now.
No, no. He's comfortable where he is.
Brian, you're not going anywhere.
I have a ratchet strap. So I'm gonna keep you in that chair.
Long justice out there.
How you doing? Safe?
Hi, Cheryl.
All right.
She says.
I'm sorry. She's after, wait, I lost it.
Yeah, where are we?
She's after assessors.
Clump of papers. This
After assessors?
forward, she's after Rancho Justice.
Oh, yes.
Cheryl?
Right after assessment.
How's it outside?
Not bad.
Not bad.
Everything's melting. For the next round. All right, does everybody have?
I'm still trying to find the group.
Okay.
There you are.
Yeah, she is. All right, do you have questions on anything? Should I just go through them real quick? I mean, salary.
Go through and move your questions at you.
Well, you got hold.
And your salary is per your contract.
Right, per contract and what Danielle's making now. Employee support. I don't think I changed this one.
You guys have those?
Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Do you have?
In all the other,
Personnel.
5,100 counts that we saw.
Yep.
The 2.5 was included in the
It is.
salary, so it's in there and what's the 16?
That's all.
It says a separate line item.
Okay, so you have it as a separate line item
Yep.
rather than included in the pay.
Yes,
Okay,
not included in the pay as a separate line item.
that's why I just want to
Okay.
make sure that's different than how they've been presented, so.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to clarify
So,
that.
all right.
Are you all
nobody's-
missing the
Yeah,
treasurer's
yeah.
expense? Oh, boy. I know that happened. I'll have to go print some.
We only have 5,100.
Yeah, and hold up sheets. Just a couple of papers. So I think that was done intentionally.
Do you want to take these and just copy them?
Maybe, so he doesn't have to go like.
He's
read
gonna
every
make them
wheel.
for us.
Yeah, he's.
I think he's got.
You have the debt.
We don't have anything. We only have literally 100.
Well, we have the debt in a different section.
Well, I'll give him these and it's the
Yeah,
same
he
thing and
doesn't have
then
to go
he
find
doesn't
it.
have to dig it out.
Okay, good girl.
Take probably a couple minutes.
Girl after my own heart.
How many we need? 4 or 5?
Everybody?
Everybody.
8 of us.
Oh, Lord, don't you buy me a Mercedes Benz?
What did you have, mine?
I must make them then. Yeah, right.
Yes, dude, you have your car back.
No, I don't have my car back. I'm driving my father.
It's broken.
Oh.
It's stuffy going. Let's do to it.
I had it back for 24 hours and I broke it again.
You didn't break it.
No, I didn't break
You
it.
didn't retaliate.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's going to the, it's getting bigger than this.
I told my son that he laughed. He laughed because that's normal. You know, you do that and you don't. It breaks. You ain't going nowhere.
We fighting it from like six,
That's
seven,
just-
$5.
Oh, I must.
Pushing back, I've seen $2,000.
I must say.
Push it.
Chocolate cookies.
Yeah, I'm gonna drive
I
from
know.
one dealership to another dealership.
How about-
That might as well.
Want a donut?
Not right now, thank you.
What about Jeffrey? Donut?
I had 5 members there, I was gonna stay through. So I was gonna wait that season. My first budget.
Oh, I gotta get a replacement though.
I am tired.
You are?
We're almost there.
You're doing great.
We're almost there. Hey. The library and select board, they better be quick.
I don't know when the punches in that. Don't worry about it. Becky comes prepared. She has one. Oh,
I have them in my direction.
thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. I need an extra. Does anyone else have a donut? Oh, this girl. Really nice job.
Do we want to wait?
We should wait for Bob
Okay.
and James.
Well, we're doing for employee support, right?
Personnel.
Did she?
Well, she just did.
Right now, we're moving on to employees.
Look at this one.
Here comes the whole bunch.
Wow.
Yes.
Last page has got the town administrator, 50 pounds. The other one down. Okay. No, I won't sleep tonight because I sat on my butt all day.
Go plant some seed.
I'm doing it this year.
You're not doing that? No?
Huh?
You're not planting anything?
That's key. You know, it costs so much money to do it too. Seeds are just so expensive. You know, you can't, you know, quite a few things for us, but. It'll be really hard, maybe we're gonna have a hard time. You depend on it, but.
Subcontractor.
My subcontractor to do my hanging tomato plant.
Huh?
I'm a subcontractor to do my hanging tomato plant.
I know, we sold 90 of them or gave them away. Jeffrey always gets one. Jeffrey's a hanging tomato plant guy.
Is that?
We love those hanging tomato plants. Yeah. I don't think so this year, so.
Well, I'm coming shopping.
We can go ahead,
You wanna go?
yeah, this year.
I'll feed you out of the garden.
All right, so employee support. This one I didn't change a lot. It just was some of the memberships and registration fees for some of the meetings have gone up. Didn't change that one a lot. I just increased what I knew was going up. You want to do questions as we go along or at the end? Purchases services, Hilltop is the people that do our yearly report. That's the fee for that, and then the cost for audits when they have to supply them to,
He needs a copy.
what's that?
It was an extra.
Hey, you know?
I don't blame you.
You don't already know it by heart?
You notice I was kind of sitting back, right?
She did that intentionally.
You sit like this at the table, then you have to worry.
You should just.
And then Kirkwood does our billing for motor vehicle, personal property, and real estate twice a year. So that's what the Kirkwood is. And I don't think I changed this one a lot either. Kirkwood went up a little because we have more bills, so. Question?
Any questions on that one?
So, does Kirkwood print and mail the?
Yes, they print and mail, so we not only save on all the paper and the time to fold and all that other stuff, we get pre-sort rate. So we're not paying full stamp cost.
Okay. And. Never mind. Yeah, okay.
Here's money.
Supplies. Postage, I didn't a roll, just in case we have to add something to what we have if it's heavy. Prepaid envelopes, that's what most of this is for. And then just miscellaneous supplies for the office.
You're still using a typewriter too?
What's that?
Are you still using a typewriter too?
Nope.
Good upgrade. She didn't use the abacus either.
Other. Basically, this covers all my tax title and anything for the attorney. So when we have to lien the properties that are unpaid, this is the account that covers this. The taxing, which we don't have to advertise anymore, but we have to post on people's, we only have to advertise commercial, I should correct that. Filing of the deeds, which has to be done within 60 days of the lien. And the attorney, I'm already over budget this year on the attorney. It's just costing so much more with the new legislation. He has to be more involved. Plus, we had the big American tissue thing. So it was costly this year for the attorney. I don't know if I'm gonna have enough to cover his expenses. I'm already over budget this year for attorney. So, and I can't lien 25 taxes because I don't have the money for the budget in the budget this year to lien 25. Go ahead.
If I may, Cheryl, the only question I have here, the only question about this is you say, over here you have one and it's a cost 15 and then 25 over in the column over here.
Oh, James and I changed that. So,
So we're looking for the 25.
yes, please, yeah.
Okay.
So you can't lien 25 properties right now that are currently delinquent?
I have to do one or all. I can't do one. I have to do all. Right now, I have roughly 50.
Okay.
I have to post on the house, so I have to hire a constable. I've been told $40 to $75 per.
Okay.
And then I have to file with the registry of deeds, 105 a piece, which even if I have 45, I'm talking 4,200 to 4,700.
Transfer title, they can do that without having to pay because it's not been liened within the registry of deeds.
If I don't lien it, the taking that I do is, it's not valid. I have to lien within 60 days. If I put the lien out and tell them I'm gonna lien them, they have 14 days to come and pay. If they do not, I have to place a lien and it has to go to the registry of deeds. It's 105 a piece.
And if the transfer of title were to transpire between them, what would happen? They wouldn't know that the lien was.
If somebody's selling a house, we usually get an MLC request from an attorney, and then it goes on there that somebody's past due. But a lien protects the town so that if somebody does it cash deal, whatever, and they don't pull an MLC, we could lose out on that money, but it will pass to the next person because it's buyer beware. If there's money owed, we can still technically get it from that person, but we may have to sue them for it. So we may have to go that route. So a tax lien protects the town. But I don't have the funds this year to do last year's.
So
I mean, I usually do them September or October-ish. So we held off this year only because it was new. We didn't know how it was going to work. Some other towns have started doing it, so I'm seeing more of the cost and what we have to do.
Well, my concern with that is there's a lot of people running around with cash right now from when they sold their houses high. And they're doing a lot of cash purchases.
Right.
yes,
How, do you have a number of what you need for that? To satisfy that?
Right now I have roughly 50 that would go to tax title if nobody paid. Typically, once we send out the letters and that gets posted on, well, it used to go in the paper, now it'll get posted on their house. We usually get, right, I'm usually doing over 100. So we might get back a dozen, but because we've waited so long, we've been sending letters, and we've gotten a few here and there. So we're down to about 50 right now. I would say I might get 5. So I might end up with 45
so
to post.
to post those 45, what kind of money are we actually?
It's 105 a piece, plus whatever the constable cost me.
It's about 4.
So it's like, yeah,
So it's probably
200, 4,700.
$7,000
Mhm.
total.
Yeah. I had to get the constable to come out and post on everyone's property.
Would you? Because the first thing that comes to mind is there's currently $49,000. I'm only one person. $49,000 sitting in the advisories accounts. I do not know if that is an appropriate usage of some of that money or not. And, you know, that's what I'm trying to.
Yeah.
Can you put your numbers together and can you put it on our agenda?
If I do 45, it's gonna be the 4,700 plus whatever constable cost me. Like I said, I haven't called anybody because I haven't wanted to do this because of the cost. And I didn't want to be the guinea pig because it's brand new legislation. And I've been waiting for other towns and it's $40 to $75 per. So that plus the 105 each.
But by not doing it, you're putting us at a larger risk of having to sue. If there were-
We have to do them eventually. We have 3 years to get them done.
So what I'm trying to figure out is, we have this money that we don't use a lot. I have not heard whether or not the TA will be coming to to advisory for anything for this, for anything else or for.
I have been asked for the $5,000 for the deductible for Scout Hall.
Okay,
And that is
that's-
deemed an
okay.
emergency.
Yeah, okay, that I wasn't sure if there was anything for Scout Hall or not. And,
when that is,
you know, for a large, for the complete, well, I guess we are the complete advisory right now.
Yeah.
Whether or not there'd be appropriate use of some of those funds or not my decision on
Right,
that,
no, I
but
get it, yeah.
Just
I mean,
thinking,
that would help. Obviously.
Get them back on, get them back on the tax rolls.
Mr. Bennett.
It is.
Well, it doesn't, no, it doesn't, they're still on the tax roll. These are people that are just past due
Yeah.
with fiscal 25 property taxes. So all this does is basically we're filing with the registry saying that they're past due.
Boot them in the butt.
So if somebody goes and looks, they can see it. That's public information. They can call here and find that out as well. But it protects us because it's recorded.
Yep.
Right now, they're still past due and we would be owed that money, obviously. But people can get around it and then we're stuck chasing it down. If we do this, we become first lien holder over a mortgage. So then we'd be paid first even before the mortgage.
Yep.
Can you put that, can we put together the total amount that you'll need and can we put it on?
Yeah, if you could do that.
Yeah, so
We're having a regular
4,700 plus a
business-
constable.
We're having a regular business meeting in April.
Okay,
And then May is kind of busy with
okay.
town hall, town meeting stuff, so it's middle of April.
The Cheryl, quick and dirty numbers, 105, and I took the worst case scenario, 75 per constable. Times the 25, well, I had it higher.
It would be 45. I'm at 50 right now, so I would say maybe 45. If we got lower, that'd be great, but
In our meeting.
with what's left, I don't think we
April
would.
16th
I'm
is our
sorry?
meeting.
April 16th
Yes.
is our advisory meeting.
Okay. So 105 plus 75 times 45 is $8,100.
You're looking like 10 grand.
That would be the worst case scenario.
Yeah,
Do that.
Nobody does.
So a 10 grand request from the transfer
Yeah.
from the reserve fund, which could be either used this year or encumbered to cover if you know, to get to it for the summer.
okay,
right, so,
I can meet with James and
okay,
and then,
the advisory and
There's no sense in sitting there, having that money sit there.
yeah.
You know, I've been on the advisory off and on for a long time. I think we use it very rarely.
and this feels like it's the right,
Yeah.
okay, all right,
That would be great.
April 16th.
16 or 15?
16th, a Thursday.
6:30.
6:30 on the 16th.
Okay.
See you at
Thank
Eastville,
you.
you can.
That would be awesome. And we can work on this.
James, I don't know if Scout Hall's ready for us too for.
We,
for that.
we're waiting for we gotta wait for the bills to come in. So I think we're still collecting that information. We'll get it to you.
That was nice.
All right, so I think that was the end of me, other than the debt.
debt service. Yeah.
And the debt is what the debt is. I mean, I just take Hilltop's numbers and plug them in. If anybody has any questions, I can try to answer what we have here.
So we have one falling off on 27. for
Yes.
fiscal year, but
Yeah.
that is water.
That's a water, yep.
And then the Title V for fiscal 29.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're getting out there.
And then that sewer ban, we have to roll next year
Right.
into, yeah.
Because we've done it, what, twice?
We just rolled it
Yeah.
in February from last year, so we do have to do something next February. It has to turn into a loan.
But we have water coming off.
Water's coming up, yeah. Any other questions?
Anything further for Cheryl? Thank you so much.
All right, awesome.
Cheryl,
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Enjoy the rest of the weekend.
Awesome.
There was no collaboration, people's parts. I like that.
Yeah. Where is she? No,
That's
I
a
don't.
custom.
That's like that's like a second budget or something.
Congratulations, I hear that you're a selectman.
No.
No.
God, no, you couldn't pay me enough, no thanks.
Well, one or the other, I knew it was something good.
Our regional school goes.
Congratulations. Bob started, he called me and says, did you see that? And I said, yeah.
Yes, it was very
Talk about-
Everybody acknowledged the fact you're.
I said no offense.
Guy,
You do a really good job.
I don't like the pitchforks out there, so.
Cheryl, so don't worry about it.
I did have two questions before I start.
Yeah.
One, who's the Scout Hall request from? What department? Is it the select board or is it coming from?
Scout the
For the,
deductible or whatever it is. I don't know, I guess Bob's kind of managing that project. so-
Okay, I just wanted to make sure it wasn't from the enterprise, because then you guys can't use your reserve fund to.
no, it was for
Okay.
Bob for the deductible for the insurance company.
And then the only other thought I had was on the Cheryl tax lien stuff, because it's such a low dollar amount, it might be better off looking to try and do a line-to-line transfer after May 1st rather than do a reserve fund transfer, but
Yeah.
that's just my personal.
I would prefer that.
Because there will be other departments that have room, and because it is such a small dollar, it's easier to transfer it from another department than to transfer it out of the reserve fund. Just my personal opinion.
An accountant that knows her business.
This is why we have an accountant, everybody.
The money she needs.
Telling you what, right?
But I highly recommend going forward either way, because
That conversation, with her so that we know.
I can, yeah, we can discuss that. I did also discuss, or we discussed several months ago now, the potential of Templeton looking into a tax title revolving account, which would help her be able to go after these properties without having the necessary worry all the time about not having the money to do it. And it would actually be the fees that we're charging the people that would be paying for it. That does currently go in the general fund, so it is more of a conversation to see like what amount we may be interested, because obviously with it all going in the general fund now, we don't want to rip it all out in a way, but that was something we brought up. It is something that has to be voted at a town meeting. So it's not something that can just be done, but
So can we put that on a future agenda?
Well,
It can,
It's not the first time that's been brought up.
what were you asking him?
is that something, is there still enough time to be able to get it on
Yeah, it'll probably come from Bobby's.
The main one?
the May one?
March 26th, I think, the end of the.
James, can we put that on the May?
What May what?
Warrant.
What, for town meeting?
Your town meeting?
Well, we have to discuss it first, so she's looking into it.
Well, can we look into it and discuss it and really quickly and get it on the agenda and get it on the warrant?
on the draft and.
All right, then, Amber, get me the information.
Do it for you, girl. Got you. Tag you, girl.
We're not about to dilly-dally over here. Dilly-dally long enough.
Okay, now I'll get back to the actual.
Well,
subject.
no,
Yes, okay, I get to.
Appreciate that. I might
Did
glad to
Ryan
hear.
take that as a
Okay,
suggestion?
time. For you
So
to get-
she's gonna look into it and get me the information, and I'll have a talk with them about it.
Thank you, sir.
Um, so originally I was trying to actually level fund my budget, but because our auditors have informed us that they will not be renewing their contract with us, we did get an estimate from CBiz that was almost twice our current audit costs. So I did have to put that in there at 50,000, which did blow my hoping to level fund it out of the water, but I have my position in there at the amount that I was offered plus a 2.5%, as well as a 2.5% for the assistant. It's pretty straightforward. I believe I said either in my introduction to the select board or my first meeting with advisory committee, education and process improvement are my two biggest things. So you will see I do try and dedicate a lot of money to education, as well as I have added in the Mass Collector Treasurer Association, because statutorily that is typically where payroll falls and where it is done in Templeton under the accounting department. I personally find it irresponsible to have it in the department without us having the trainings to actually do it. So I have added that in there. I did take out the boot camp because I am currently taking it, and based on what the accounting assistant role currently is today, it would not be cost effective for her to take it, because there is no way she is going to sit for that exam and pass based on the current day-to-day that she is actually doing. The rest of it is typical normal stuff that we go to. Some of them have increased the costs a little bit here and there. Vadar is the same. I already discussed the audits with you. The OPEB liability, that has stayed the same. It's typically the full OPEB audit is done every 2 years. So you typically pay when you have your full audit. So most towns split the 3,500 across 2 years, encumber it, and then pay the whole 70 or 7,000 in the year it's due. I was able to drop office supplies a little bit. Again, I'm big on process improvement, and I actually hate paper. Nancy will tell you that. She picks on me all the time. I didn't want to go and completely take it all out, because we do still have to send 1099s and W-2s, and I'm not as familiar with the pre-stamped envelopes. Where I came from, we did have one of the postage machines, but I am aware that we pre-buy postaged envelopes, and we do currently have some, so I was able to bring that down because I don't think we'll need as many as were in there. And that's about it, unless anyone has specific questions.
I'll just say, I appreciate the 1099 drop in cost from $900 in FY26 to $250. So thank you.
Like I said, I wanted to level fund it in the worst way, but
You answered my questions in your conversation.
Yes.
The only thing that I'm, let's say, concerned about is the audit cost, and, you know.
yeah, because I mean, CBiz does currently do municipal light and water. CBiz has also bought out a lot of the municipal auditors and are struggling to get things done in a timely fashion. I'm not sure what else is out there still besides Roselli and CBiz, but it's something we'll look into.
Same thing has happened with the fire truck. Same thing that happens with all the software. Yep, somebody buys up all the little guys, and it's just me.
Monopoly.
Yeah, because I know CBiz bought out like 3 or 4 different firms.
Yeah, they bought out the one.
And you may not be able to answer this publicly, and that's fine. Because of where the audits have sat for light and water, keep me honest here, right? That it's been so late. Do you have any concerns about when they would be able to do it for the town? Because there's been a disconnect between the two entities.
So I know for the current year, and I have to follow up with them, but last I spoke with CBiz, light and water was actually on hold because I guess they got new software and it can't provide the reports that CBiz needs. So I do need to follow back up with CBiz on that, because I know Roselli has told me they have no interest in even starting our municipal audit until light and water is complete. So we have not actually started the 25 audit. So I don't know when this year is going to be done. Never mind the 26 audit.
Okay. So. I'm not sure who to.
And they did vote at town meeting to take that out of the annual report, so at least that's not a, I guess, statutory obligation, but I don't know when it will be done.
Okay, so we need a game plan. I obviously this is not the correct form, but we need a game plan for dealing with this.
So
You know that stuff
Couple-
I said they never fixed?
a couple of things. As we pointed out, we don't really have too many options as far as auditing firms go. Number two, Roselli, is that their name?
Yeah.
They hate us.
Yeah, I was trying to be politically.
No, they
correct.
Yeah, it's at the end of the day, so I'm gonna be honest, they
It's very accurate.
hate us. They sent us an email that I couldn't believe we received.
Me an email, but I had.
Yeah. So I don't know what happened here last year,
They hate us.
but he literally said something along the lines of that was the worst experience I ever had. This will be the last time we work with Templeton. If you are interested in finding someone else to do your audit, we'll happily let you out of this last year of our contract. And then we looked into it, and CBiz was basically the only outfit out there. Plus it made sense to use them because they're doing the light and water. We couldn't find anyone else, especially on short notice. And so we're stuck with Roselli, and they said they're not even going to touch it until light water's done. So they kind of have us over a barrel. It's not, it's going to be late. It'll eventually get done. We have a contract with them, but it's going to be late.
At the time when we did reach out to CBiz too, not only was it going to be like twice as much money, but they wouldn't be able to start the municipal at that time until at least April. So, I mean, obviously that's going to be later now if they haven't finished late.
And it was going to be more. They want to charge more than we had in the budget as well.
Okay, so
For you,
put this in a 6-year-old child's terms. What does this mean to us in our budgeting or our tax? Because there's things we can't do without this.
Tax rates set and everything. Not sure this affects.
I will
What does
say,
this affect? Let me put it that way.
I will say we're not the only town facing the delays. I believe Orange just got their 24 audit back in October, November. And they have CBiz as well. So, I mean, it is something that is across most towns that are dealing with CBiz. It's not just a Templeton thing. Again, unfortunately, most towns know too, there's not really a lot of other options of places to go. I'm going to put some information out on the listserv to see if there is anyone else is currently using. Maybe there's some retired accountants who have become auditors. I don't know. Hopeful, but at the moment, we don't necessarily have a game plan. I would like to say I've looked into it further, but between trying to get the workers' comp audit done in the Schedule A, it has not become a priority yet on my plate.
I asked at the conference. They said that everybody is looking for.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I know there's a lot of
Yeah.
towns that aren't
And
happy.
yes, it's across the board and everybody's looking in the state.
So maybe it is a good thing that it's.
Probably a job that's.
Yep.
Okay,
But anyway.
thank you.
Oh, I think you guys had mentioned a question earlier, something about revenue. I think it was during TCTV. I don't know, my children were talking in the background.
I asked about the enterprise fund for TCTV, how that worked, about revenue. The sheet and how I hadn't seen them do the turnover. I might have missed one, and I was just asking if that's where their money went. If I was looking for a deposit, if they got like a sponsor or a donation or something, or a fee that someone paid, was that the account I was looking at?
If it was donation, they should technically have a separate donation account.
I think the question was if they were hired out by someone to do some advertising.
Yeah, their revenue should be in their fund.
Okay.
The only revenue that they would receive that I'm aware of that would be outside the fund is if they got their grant money for their digital equity. Everything else, to my knowledge, should be being deposited
Okay.
into their fund.
All right, I just wanted to check, that's what we were all.
I know, I think I had gone and seen Cheryl and Danielle probably a month ago now, asking if like they were often depositing money, and that wasn't the case. Obviously, the ones that get deposited the most are our communication checks, which I know typically go to the select board office. And then I believe it's Jill lets Steve or whoever know that it's there.
Yeah, it just said, in one of the weeklies, that it said that they had a pledge for someone to do some work for them, you know, for them to do something, and they were gonna get some kind of funds, and I was looking to see if they had gotten that, you know, that sponsorship or whatever it was that they had said, and I didn't see anything yet, so maybe that worked out. Maybe that situation hasn't happened yet, but I was just looking back as far as I could, see if they've gotten if anything's been turned over in this last fiscal year, this, you know, current since July to now.
So they are on the departmental revenue that gets sent out,
Yeah,
but it doesn't. Let me make sure that everything's pulling into there, because I only see their transfer of the 50,000
Yeah.
in cash,
that's what I was thinking.
but theirs should be showing up on there. And I know at this point, they've got at least one check, but it's also possible it was in February after the report was pulled.
Okay,
We just did one not too long ago. So it has to go into the general fund. They don't have an account to deposit into. It has to go into the general fund, then I transfer it. But we only get a deposit about once a quarter.
It goes into your general fund bank account.
Not,
Okay.
right, and then I have to do a transfer. So I don't know if that's why they're not seeing it, but it is in the enterprise fund.
But when you're looking
know
at the
that they
reports,
are.
you're looking
Yeah.
at Vadar, you don't see the bank accounts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
so that's what I'm saying, is when I'm looking at it on that report, it's not showing that like, say, $50 they got as a sponsorship for some program or something, or some kind of fee that they had. We're not seeing it, that it's coming, like, I haven't seen anything coming in that
I
way.
haven't seen anything.
But if that's the way it's going, yeah.
Yeah, I can look into it. I don't
Okay.
know the answer off the top of my head. It should be going into their fund in Vadar.
Right.
I do know they've gotten at least one check, but I don't remember if it was in January or February.
Okay. I just wanna make sure we can see when it's happening, everybody can see it.
Yeah,
That
I
it
mean,
is
we should be
happening.
able to. You're correct. You should be able to see it.
Yeah. Especially if they just told us about all these things, that these wonderful things they might
Yeah,
be
I
getting.
mean, clearly they got revenue last year, so I mean, it's going in there somehow. I just have to look to make sure. It
Mhm.
should go straight in there. It shouldn't be any like, at least on the Vadar side, it shouldn't go into the general fund and then need to be moved. But sometimes there's things that one person does one way that someone else wouldn't have done, and sometimes we gotta
Yeah, well,
unwrap that.
okay. Okay.
Thank you, Amber.
Thank you very much, Cheryl.
Thank you, ladies. Awesome.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Amber will stick around for finance questions throughout the rest of the evening.
Do you want me to go up there? Can I stay here?
Oh,
You stay there,
Perfect.
and advisory is right before accounting.
easy.
Ready for me?
Oh, it is always.
All right, so
Bathroom's like an ice box.
we're on the first page, 5110. There's a difference from last year of $900. There are the costs of the meetings have gone up, and I put back the MMA for two of the advisory committee members to be able to attend and either drive there for 2 nights or stay there for the 2 nights. I do find it informative for us to be able to attend these things. We don't get out there too often. I did reach out to the annual town finance committee, and the dues have gone up. Actually, we haven't even paid our dues from last year because of what happened last summer. I keep getting emails from the gentleman there that we have a $295 bill that we haven't paid, which I'm pretty sure the invoice was $201. So I don't really understand that, but I have to figure that out. He says once that's paid, they'll send us the finance committee handbook that they updated back in October. We did not attend the annual meeting or the regional meeting last year because nobody was aware of those things happening because we didn't pay our dues, so. Hopefully for FY27 it'll be a little smoother and we can have the option to attend these things. I do know that, I think the annual meeting it's in November and it's in Foxborough. That's what the woman told me. So I included more transportation costs so that if we have a full board of 5, that they can attend both of those meetings and be reimbursed for mileage. Any questions? So that's my $900 increase. I think last year I was only allowed, I don't know, $500, $400,
$490.
$490. So I would like to see that, all the stuff put back ideally, because we ask for a lot.
The meetings are very valuable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Office supplies.
Hence do you plan to buy?
I was told by my previous chairperson that that's for to print out the pre-town stuff. I don't know if that's true. I don't know. Jeff, do you know? Why our office supplies are they were $760. I bumped it up a little bit to $800. Why the advisory office supplies are so much money?
Is it to print out your report?
The advisory committee is supposed to give a written report.
Yeah.
To town meeting.
That
More than just a yes or no attached to, the voter's guide or.
It's supposed to be
And
in
that's
depth.
what that amount is intended to cover.
it's not been in depth,
Well, I think the problem might be, are we expecting they print like, 200 copies for town meeting type thing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So even if it's a couple pages, 200 copies.
it used to be like,
it's like a full voter's guide, right? Like a
yeah, it
Oh.
was like it wasn't huge.
Similar to a.
Well, we do the voters guide thing.
You're supposed to give recommendations or explanations on the articles, especially like the budget. What's your take on it? Do you support it? Do you
Yeah.
not?
So it's more than just the yes and no that we've been giving in.
Oh, yeah,
years.
it usually was until just recently.
Yeah, and I remember when I was
must be a
sitting
copy.
in
There
the
might be a
audience
copy
reading it.
Yeah, if someone could locate what they're supposed to look like, that would be
There was-
appreciative because
I
I've
think the
been,
last really written report was done was at 2019.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you probably have a copy for that.
probably wrote it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it probably has a copy, so.
Matter of fact, I have it saved to a Word file.
Perfect. Please email that to me so that
You can
we
send it
can
to
be,
Jackie.
we can be sure to like.
It's just they comments of the advisory committee and their votes on the articles and, what they agreed, what they didn't agree. Pointed out that the budget was a $1 million increase from one.
It sounds like a lot of work for the clerk.
I quit.
No.
It's collaborative work between the chair and the clerk.
You're not going anywhere, girl.
I did it on a Saturday morning prior to the meeting.
Like example.
But my morning starts at.
Yes, I would love an example, please, so we can,
Want me to write that up? I will. I'll write it up.
we can try to. follow it.
That's what typically that has been. a
Okay.
Line item, but it has not been.
Fizzled out.
In years. So
Okay.
That's.
Well,
what
we'll
that
try to
is.
get back to that. I should put that at,
Next year.
that's in our short-term goals is to try to get back to that. And then apparently James said pens go with it, so that's where that money comes from. Pens?
I'll also have,
How many pens do you?
I'll also have, Jill look for a copy for you too.
Stu, I have a vest.
Appreciate
No,
this.
I don't want a vest.
And then moving on to 5,600, the emergency reserve was slashed by $1,000 last year. I'd like to see it go back to $50,000. Ideally, in the next 3 years, it would be the advisory committee's goal to get us up to 65,000 for emergency reserve. Like, I don't think 50,000 is really a lot of money. If you think about the grand scheme of like what could really go wrong, we couldn't even have covered that IRS fine with the money that we had if thankfully it got taken care of. But, I'd like to see us get bumped up in the next few years. It's my wish list.
And it's been 50,000
It's been 50,000
for a long time.
Yes.
The board does have a plan, a thought on doing that, out of the free cash.
Okay.
Start at annual town meeting out of taxation, and then when you approach the special town meeting, you're getting in the time of the year where almost a half of the fiscal year is gone by, so departments spend, so there's less to move around. So that is the time, at least in my opinion, to increase the reserve fund for anything that pops up. And if it's unused, you can do several things out of it. Town meeting can transfer from money from there to any use. Or if it's unused and untouched, it just goes into the free cash, which puts money in there, which can increase the following fiscal years. It's almost just like a self-feeding thing.
Yep.
There's several options, but yeah, it's a good idea and plan to bump that up considering the amount of the town budget.
Yes, we
Yeah.
would like to see
Backing it
that.
Up with 50 grand is,
Off a $13 million budget is.
Yeah.
It's like pennies in the
Really big
couch.
Sure.
All
Okay.
right, so I mean, that's it. Any comments, questions,
Concerns?
feedback? Nothing? Okay.
Good job.
Thank you for your time.
very good. Thank you.
Can it be possible when we do the select board one to have the TA sit there so that I think the viewers at home.
I asked if I should move and I was told no.
They can actually see me. I see this thing,
See.
I see
They
this
can
thing
see.
jump on me at times.
Well, it jump on me at times is not the same thing as,
Hot seat.
yeah.
Well, no, I think when I talk, I think the owl,
Yeah, there it is. Oh,
see, right there.
see, there it is.
So it's an owl. It looks, it, captures you.
They'll come back over here.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit here. All right, select board budget. So, it's in the first budget in your packet. Starting with 5,100 personal services, town administrative line item. So let me explain that. That is, I put in 3% there. Why? The select board, per my contract, has a flexibility to provide me after review whatever increase they want. And so I don't want to hamstring our small budget too much. So I put in 3%. They could give me 1%, they give me 4%. So I just put in something because I don't know what they're going to do when the time comes. Jill's is just a 2.5%, per the guidelines. And then you have your select board budget, your select board stipends, which are the same as last year times 5.
So I got a couple of things. The raise, I feel like should, possible raise should be put like, it was done on one of the other ones where it was, or one of the other pages, other or something, not actually written out like that. Cause it's not a guaranteed thing and I just don't like the fact that it was written that way. And then the other thing is, employee, reviews. I've seen a lot of, raises in a lot of these things. The way they're written, it kind of looks like it would happen where, I just like the other one, I think it was it Cheryl's, they had the percentage and put it, a possible raise type of situation.
It's separated out the
Yeah,
2.5%.
Because the handbook says the employee, policy says that there'll be reviews and things that happen after a year. I mean, this one lists the executive assistant with it, but yet, what are we at? 5 months, 6 months of employment?
I don't think these are considered raises, they're considered COLAs, which is a cost of living increase. It's a different beast than a raise. And that's why with James, we could skip, the thing, give him a COLA, we could, but he's putting in 3% in there. Just as a cover for if and when we do adjust.
Right, I just like the fact that it was listed, I don't want to.
Denoted a little different, I do.
Yeah, I liked how it wasn't, like, it was the regular number here, and then it said, and it was factored in how much for those, and then it was put up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I liked it written how it was in that budget, how they did it, and the other thing was that, the other job that used to be in the air, that, for the other desk, for the, assistant, I know it's taken out, but I just feel like that office could use somebody part-time or, even 10 hours a week to help, or even take some minutes or something. I think having the 3 people and having somebody in there, and even possibly we used to get, people that were interested in learning government in there too for jobs, like an intern or something.
Well, look, if we can pass the budget. I understand what you're saying.
But there's a lot of work with, you know, that goes in that office, and then one of them's out on vacation or something. Now they're stuck with, now they're down to just the one person. I just don't agree that, I had read the, saying that they didn't need it, but
If they don't, if they don't think they need it,
I think that the perspective was from James. I don't know if, the other person in the office would agree.
if I may play devil's advocate for just a second here, there are so many other departments that you could make the exact same argument for. And if the department head is saying they're good, they're good. You know, that is being respectful to the inputs.
I've been here at 7:30 in the morning and the door was locked. And it was 8 o'clock and I'm the one who opened it. And she wasn't here. Because it was her day off. And the door says 7:30.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying having extra help doesn't hurt.
Every department could say the same thing.
No.
So.
I was just pointing out that I.
People don't get a day off, Candace?
Huh?
People
No,
don't
that's
get a
the
day off?
point is, there's no coverage. I was just saying that it would have been nice to have that little job, even if it's 10 hours a week or something. Or it just got completely taken away out of the budget. And that was my concern, that it was completely gone, where we've had it for many.
You can take it offline. We're splitting way too many hairs.
Asking, I was just saying that.
I personally don't feel it's necessary. If Mr. Ryan feels they can run it with two, they run it with two. We're not gonna micromanage a department.
Okay, rolling right along.
Well, it's
Well,
the board office, but I was just.
So, and the budget's, you know, the prerogative of the board, you know, whatever we want to take and pull and cut and expand, you know, that's what these discussions are for.
Or another budget.
So,
Hmm.
5110 employee support. So let me explain these a little bit. So let's see, workshops and conferences, annual I was just trying to remember which one was the next one. Okay. Workshops and conferences, there's a quantity of 5. I'm budgeting 2 people to go to MMA, an annual MMHR event that they do, annual MMMA, the Managers Association event that they do. And then there's usually 1 or 2 cheap, it's like $50 to go to legal updates. And so I looked back at where I worked prior and what I've done so far since I've come here. And so I think that's what I would need in that line item. And like I said, that's 2 people to go to the annual conference. So it could be myself and a select board member. So that line item includes that. Dues, as part of my contract, I'm a member of Triple MA, MMHR, and STAM. ICMA is also in there, but I haven't decided to join that yet. These 3 are sufficient. So that 567.50, those are the dues for FY27. And so those rates come directly from those organizations. Annual car allowance, that's contractual, license and certification rules, MCPPO training. So as I've mentioned before, every 3 years, I have to have completed a number of classes and a recertification. This is for me to take 2 classes in 27 and for Jill to take 1 in 27, because I'd like her to eventually get certified, if that's okay with the board. And then employee and volunteer recognition program. So prior we had money here for the annual employee appreciation part. It usually happens in December. And then I think this was the same line item where at least at one point there was like an employee recognition at town meeting. My understanding of the history is that, I guess I'm kind of repeating what's in my narrative, but the history that people told me, it started off at the employee appreciation party, and then it transitioned to town meeting. After speaking to many of the employees in town hall, they would prefer more of, let's say, more of a dinner sort of thing. So what I'm proposing is a December employee appreciation, and I thought a fun idea would be a happy new fiscal year, like day party sort of thing. So in July, they would have another one of those dinners, probably at the same place. And there's a couple $100 extra in there to take care of events like this. So to buy lunch for this event, because it looked like that got cut in FY26. So I'm fully funding for those purposes. Stop me anytime or we can go back. Legal services and purchase of services. That's flat from last year. We're on track of spending a good chunk of that. So I'm just keeping it flat. We are getting a price increase the first time since 2018. And so I'll be talking about that with the board. I just learned that on Friday. I give Harrington Heap a lot of credit. They kept the hourlies for their law firm for us flats the same since 2018. And he said that, he just thought Templeton deserved it. And so he's been kind of pushing back on his partners, but the time has come for that to increase. So, but I'm still keeping it flat and we'll just try and manage that. Employee physicals, when non-union employees, basically town hall employees or other non-union employees are hired, we usually send them for an employee physical. Usually about $125. We don't do too many of those. But it's a line item in there. PO box, we have a fee for a PO box that we pay that some mail goes to. So that's flat.
You need some mail.
I guess the town just has a PO box that I think people can send certain things to. I think it's on our website, and so there's a fee associated with that.
Bills and things.
Rock bills go too.
Bills.
Oh, okay.
The bill comes in the building. Somebody, there's different, if they go pick it up.
Put in this address, they won't get it.
And then ADA cart services, that's a sum of money that we have to have ready just in case someone, again, forgive me, I'm repeating my narrative, but if someone asks for an accommodation at town meeting, that's what that money's for. And I guess we've had that in the past. We haven't had it in a couple of years, but we have in the past. Office supplies flat. We're running on track with that, so I'm leaving that the same. Postage, I don't think I increased that from last year. MMA, so licensing, liquor licenses, and I think any notices that the board has to send out come from that line item. But the liquor license packages, if they want us to mail them out, we mail them out. This year we tried to get people to come in, but I think Jill had to use a combination of stuff. So that takes care of that line item mostly. MMA, that's the town's membership to be a part of the Massachusetts Municipal Association. That's a quote from them. Advertising on the MMA site, it is up to $115 per advertisement. And so I'm just estimating 15. We've had a few jobs already since I've started, probably more before. So it's just an estimation to try not to, overrun that line item. And then the annual report, I think I left that flat because that looks like what you've been spending.
Can I stop right there?
Yeah.
So in FY25,
Mhm.
the voter guide, ATM stuff,
Mhm.
there was, we printed 300 copies of those. And the fall town meeting was 250.
Mhm.
I'm not seeing, am I looking in the wrong spot? Is it?
Well, so that's not what, that's not the annual report, but
Oh, okay.
no, those are two separate things. The voter guide that you're talking about is just printing we do over here on that printer. So that'd just be part of the printer paper cost.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, that was a huge swing and a miss. We thought there'd be a lot of turnout for the school roof debt exclusion. 65 people showed up, so that was a lot of recycling we did.
I was pleased.
Fast.
Anything else on select board budget?
Nope.
All right, next one I do is the information technology budget, which is after the assessors, I believe. So accountant, assessor. Well, I think it's actually So it's after the treasurer.
After the treasurer, you said?
Yes.
It's after the treasurer.
Okay, I'll find it.
Or the clerk.
All right, we all got it?
Yes. Got it.
Where we at, insurance?
No, information technology, it's after, yep. So all of this, is based off of the bills we are currently paying. Or I don't think there's a quote for the payroll software. But all these are quotes with the exception of, well, that long distance for Verizon, that's technically, we just leave 25 bucks in there because sometimes it's,
Mumbling. I can't hear you.
I said the long distance Verizon. I mean, that's a number we leave in there because every now and then there's a charge we get because someone calls distance, but it's 25 bucks. The only other estimation based off of trends is the town hall printer, copier paper. So we think that's a good number, and the PC replacement. So in parentheses, it talks about 42 PCs, 5-year life, blah, blah, blah. But I cut that budget to try and prevent this from going up as much as I can, because as you can see from a lot of this stuff compared to the previous year, like the town website annual fee went up substantially, and Comcast and other things have gone up by good clips. So we have a project that our IT vendor Entree is proposing, a replacement of our Sonic walls. This is a cybersecurity hardware piece that we have in the other room. It's reached its end life, which I think the company is not providing any more software updates. And there was some sort of intrusion with the company that provides Sonic Wall. And so our IT vendor has been replacing these for all their clients. So I reduced the PC replacement line. So we're only doing 3 replacements this year to try and even that out with the Sonic Wall replacement. I don't like to kick the can on computer replacements because we had a couple of them basically die this year. But it was cut last year, and I'm trying to be responsible as I try and plan for this and deal with, balancing the budget. So, and then the only other estimation is, where is it? It says Entree additional hardware labor, 4,400 times 1. So it's just, I guess a better way to do that, because I think I'm estimating a certain amount of visits. So it's I forget what it was, 500 an hour per visit or something like that. I can get you that information, but there's a certain amount of visits I'm estimating in that line item because if there is a hardware issue or something they can't log in virtually to your computer to fix, if they have to come up on site, we're paying an hourly fee for that. Or if they have to install something, if we do replace 3 new computers, which I would plan to spend that money to try and keep up with computer replacement, they have to come on site to replace those. So with the computer replacement, that money is budgeted, but any other hardware software issue that puts them on site, we have to pay an hourly rate for. I think they're coming up from Springfield. So there's some costs whenever they have to come out. So I'm budgeting a little extra there to make sure we have that money there. Payroll, that's quoted. Entree services, that's quoted. Adobe Acrobat Pro based off the bills. Town hall printer, copier paper, estimation based off of usage. Copy printers based off of bills, domain, cell phones, is all based off of bills. Website annual fee, we were quoted that. Any questions on that? Yes, sir.
You have copiers, printers, 12, $1,400 apiece, and town printers and copiers, $1,400. I'm just kind of wondering why they're separate.
So that's paper. The second one is town hall printer copier paper.
Oh.
That's just the paper.
Yeah, it's my lack of glasses. Okay.
That's not what it says.
Okay. So that, I assume the copier printers are under a contract with a specific vendor?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you. And we've talked about, my question regarding Sonic Wall and Entree.
Yeah, I'll get you a more detailed explanation of the firewall and cyber protection stuff that they,
Appreciate that.
yeah.
And the $25, could you go with it? Cause that just seems to me like one of those Verizon things. Like, I know we didn't update the phone at the camp for a number of years, and we were paying 25 cents a minute for phone calls. For long distance, and it was like, yeah, like a $40 phone bill for a phone call.
Yeah, it's just, we see that come up on the bills sometimes. Different people make certain calls to vendors or whatever, and there's, for some reason, Verizon wants to charge us an extra little fee for certain calls from our landlines. And so it's never a ton of money, so that's why it's only $25.
Okay. That's it.
And the landline, unless I got my rows off here, the landline cost is almost doubled from last year to this year.
Yeah, I mean, that's just, we're just looking at the bills, and so I'm wondering if they under budgeted it. But yeah, we just pulled that from the bills. I had Jill helped me with some of these stuff, the more basic things. So she pulled the bills for these things, and we just multiplied it by 12. We looked at a few of them, usually about the same, and multiply it by 12, and that's your cost.
Okay. And so these landlines that are separate from the voice over IP lines, which are separate from the cell phones.
Yes. So the VoIP, so most of our town phones, so like the ones in this building are the VoIP, voice over internet protocol, I think. So those are the newer ones. But for some reason around town, we still have in some of the buildings, old landlines. So I assume those are what they call the copper lines as opposed to the VoIP. And so I don't know why, when they were doing this building, that they didn't do the other buildings.
Because they just did this building. It's this town doesn't act like a town. Everybody acts like their own separate entity. So it wouldn't dawn on them to do everybody, that's just the way.
Well, now that she brings that up, this you guys have only been in this building for a few years, right?
Yeah.
So like town hall.
It's been a while.
It's been quite a while.
So I'd imagine when they
Pre-COVID.
Decade.
Yeah.
well, time flies, but when you say decade, to me, that's like only a few years ago, but yeah, it's probably 10 years. But I imagine when they renovated this and moved in, they probably put in modern phones.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the question behind the question is, is there something, is there a cost savings that we can look at over the next year? I love having, we have our cell phones, and we have a hard line, landline, old-fashioned phone coming into our house, right? And there are times when various things go down, and I can see the need for it. But could there be some sort of evaluation to see how much of this we really need? Because we see a lot of communications. I see cell phone costs all over the gambit, depending upon which department you're in. And I really question that, and whether or not there's,
I don't know if there's, better companies. I personally use Fuma at home.
So,
Online, it's $7.
well, so we get a good deal on the cell phones because some of our employees are on, I think it's called FirstNet, which is for public, for first responders. So if you're, if you have to, work during an emergency, then AT&T allows you to be on that, and we get a discount for it. It's like a government program. As far as the landlines go, that would be an interesting project to look into, but it might save you money over time, but there would definitely be an install upfront cost.
Yeah.
It would be a capital project for sure.
Right, it's just, I look at the different costs based on what's in the budget book for quantity of like cell phones. And depending upon the department, it's substantial for some, and others, it's really low. And there's
So-
probably a story behind it, but
So are you looking at like the police budget and that's a big one or something?
yes.
Their cell phones, I'd have to look again, but their cell phones might be a stipend at I don't know if I forget if well, it could be a good question for the chief. I don't know if we supply them with cell phones when they're out on the road, if we give them a stipend for using their phones when they're out on the road.
$8,600.
Yeah,
So if it's a
but
stipend, that's, a contractual obligation not relating to, a bill. So it could be just a, sum of money they get yearly to use their own personal phones for things.
But possibly, I mean, what I saw last year was actual bills. So I don't think it's a stipend.
Okay.
Okay, but I could be wrong. So I'm just seeing the differences and
Mhm.
I love consistency.
Mhm.
It just seems inconsistent. So thank you.
I know that for, this building and deep,
Yeah.
Who's saying something?
so, sorry, no, I was just listening. I didn't know if you were asking a question. I know for DPW myself, I believe, the people listed here, we have what's the word? We have a guy basically that works for AT&T. And like I said, he came up and supplied us with the first net and my phone when I started. And so, we use him for that. I'm not sure about departments other than that though. And so, we could ask police how they do it.
Yeah.
But if there's a big group of them, they're probably getting a pretty good deal being public safety and being, a big group.
It's
It's a good question to ask though.
it's $8,600.
Employee support.
Sorry.
It's under employee support.
Okay.
8,600. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, great question to ask him. He'll be here on the 23rd.
Thank you.
Do we have any other questions on info tech?
Oh, yes, one other one.
Mhm.
What was missing? Sorry, what was missing from in FY26? There's a separate line for email only. Email only, which was $7,020. I'm not seeing it here for the office licensing. There was two separate lines.
Yeah, I think I consolidated that because I don't know why it was separate. It just I can add that up. It's all one bill from Microsoft Office 365 that we get from Entree who manages that for us. So
Well,
just my preference. It's the same system. Breaking out separate seems a little funny, even though it's slightly different. But we have more emails than Microsoft Office because. Like for example, advisory has an email. Advisory has an email, and so there's no town computers that you guys sit at where you would have Office 365, and we have several emails like that. All the police have emails, so they may have some computers over there for them to write their reports, but I doubt they have like a ton of that stuff. So that's the difference there. I just grouped it all together because it's all one bill.
Because it was 13,200 plus 7, so it was over 20 grand last time. It's now coming in just under 16. So
Yeah, I mean, I could double check that, but I don't want to look a gift horse in the mouth.
no, yeah, it's lower, which is awesome. But I just saw the line completely missing, and I just wanted to make sure we didn't
No, I wrapped it in. Yeah,
miss something.
good question.
Lower the wrong, don't help.
No,
I can do that.
Well, then I'll yell at Entree. They gave me this information, so
I'll take the lower number.
Yeah.
Thank you.
got it.
Well, this was fun.
I got one more if you want. The benefits. Yeah, what'd you say? Oh, all right.
See, we're here.
Yeah, so that's toward the back. I think it's right before cable. Let me see, am I right? Debt. It's after cable. Nope. Right before cable. Insurance and benefits. Um, did I write narrative for this? No, okay. We all got it?
Yeah.
We all got it?
Yeah, that's missing.
That's okay, just talk to
Oh,
her.
wait, it is.
No, yeah, it's on the,
Back of the,
Oh,
deck.
okay.
The
Yes.
back of the sheet of the
One
deck.
page. I was looking for multiple pages.
oh, one page.
It's $3 million page.
Yep.
Oh,
So your property and casualty went up this year by a good clip. There was some issues last year. There was Scout Hall. I guess there was a fire truck, incident prior to me, that made these rates essentially go up. And honestly, in general, property casualty has been going up by a good clip each year, anyway. Other notably, I think the bonding I left the same. But please, all right, so we have a $10,000 deductible for our IOD. That's the injured on duty for police and fire. We have $10,000 deductible, so that 10,000 is in there. So if, God forbid one of those employees is injured and we have to pay money for either their medical or salary expenses, we have to pay the first 10,000 first. And that obviously keeps our premium lower by having a deductible. All right, outpatient copay reimbursables. There was a town agreement years ago when they changed some copays within the health insurance that they changed them, but the town would reimburse. And so it lowered our premium by as much that it made sense for us to just reimburse. It's either $250 for outpatient or $500 for inpatient. And so it's actually cheaper for us to reimburse it out of pocket as opposed to trying to pay that, as opposed to not changing that within the insurance. Bonding, I left the same. You see the breakout. So it's like workers' comp for, general fund, workers' comp, sewer, because we cover them under our workers' comp and our property casualty. So you see those breakouts, and it's done by employee. We start with, so I don't know if the select board have heard this before. I don't know if advisory was watching that meeting, but our health insurance is going up 20% in FY27. The reason for this is claims. So the real good benefit about being in the group that we're in is we actually know what our claims are. We have 4 very large claims. And so unfortunately, that means we have 4 very sick people. 3 of those claims are about to fall off. One of them is continuing. So we think that, and by the way, so 4 large claims is pretty unusual for a group our size. So I don't want to jinx it, but that usually means that we will hopefully enter a period where we're not getting those big claims. The other part of this, as you've heard in the news, are the GLP-1 drugs for weight loss management, weight management. Those we're adding a significant amount of money to our premiums. And we've dropped those for weight loss for July 1. So those won't be a problem anymore in that context. And the same things that, so we had a very large increase for the retirees as well. And it's for the same reasons, claims and GLP-1 drugs. Yes, sir.
Okay, just want to, you said July 1?
Yeah.
Was that not January 1 that he mentioned?
I think what he was talking, so I think what he was talking about was other health insurance companies have dropped it for January 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Because there was
Like one of them just spoke.
no, so he was talking about the other ones. A lot of them. So when we were making this decision with Mass Strategic Health Group, we already saw tons of these companies. Pretty much all of them had already dropped it. So it kind of made a no brainer for us.
Yeah. Thank you.
Got it. Medicare tax is a percent times amount of employees that we pay. And then you have the Worcester Regional Retirement Assessment. So I got that in a couple of weeks ago. So that's the breakout by employees. Unemployment is an estimation. So we have a reimbursable account as opposed to private sector employees that I think private sector employees pay a certain amount each month towards unemployment. We pay dollar for dollar if we actually incur costs, and we have to pay pretty quickly because they don't mess around. They charge you a ton of interest if you don't pay your unemployment bill. So that's that's an estimate in there. Hopefully we don't spend any of that money. And that is that budget. Oh, I forgot to mention, dental, well, I'm trying to remember. So I think in my next update to you, dental just came in as a hard number. We were budgeting 10%. It's now going to be a 7% increase, but dental's not an overly expensive thing, so it doesn't save us a ton of money, but
Something.
yep.
Do we have flood insurance, like good flood insurance?
That's a good question. I think so, but I can't remember. We probably should, but I know the program's getting complicated and expensive because it's a federal program that's run because no one wants to cover floods. So
Mitigation.
On our vehicle insurance and everything. At least I know for personal vehicle insurance things, right? When our kids went off to college and stuff and their garage, their official garage spaces, wherever the vehicle was overnight, changed. One daughter, it got exceptionally expensive going from here to where she was going to school. How are we handling this with the employees that regularly take vehicles home at night? And if there is a problem, and if it's that we say that it's garaged in town, on town property, and something happens overnight where it is actually garaged, what are our liabilities?
I've never heard of an insurance company, at least for municipal, denying a claim like that because they all understand that, yes, it's garaged where the town is, but they don't really know, a vehicle, like let's say in theory could be garaged most days of the week, but then it was out, for a reason it was doing something like, a police cruiser could be parked somewhere for a while and it gets damaged. That should not affect our claims just because it happened at someone's house. It's a very common practice in the municipal space.
Okay, because our private car insurance changed drastically when one of the daughters went out to school.
Yep, I bet.
It was huge.
My dog doesn't drive, so I can't relate.
Well,
Yeah.
And what?
Gotta get him a license.
Yeah, I know. He needs to get a job, pay for his own food. It's getting expensive. All right. So any other questions on that?
no,
Can you lower it a million?
I wished,
Why?
yeah, I wish that we, I don't want to delay us, but, we were trying different things. I don't want to get too into the weeds, but, we were trying to get into, a regional group within the larger group that we're in, because that would, possibly help us with the rate that we're getting charged. Problem is, because we're having a bad claims year, we don't really match with them. We're still kind of looking at it. You never know. It could come together, but it has to kind of work. It's okay if you got one or two bad claims, but having four makes us kind of a difficult partner for anyone. So it's just bad time.
We're luggage at that point.
What?
We're luggage at that point.
Oh, yeah.
We're extra weight for somebody else to carry.
Yeah.
They don't want us.
Yeah. Mhm.
And so that's it otherwise.
All right, we have reached the end.
I have a question. You talked throughout the day about having other meetings for the budget. Do you know when those will be?
Well, I mean, tomorrow you're talking about the school. Sorry.
No, I'm
Monday.
talking about once,
Thank
yeah,
you.
all these things is we have to vote on.
I'm very confused with Saturday. Yeah. So the 23rd will be, the police are coming. That'll be the last municipal budget you'd see. And then, we could even have just a standalone item to make it more clear to the public on the 23rd. But we're talking about the budget tomorrow as well. So you can talk about it during.
Monday.
Sorry. not gonna get it right.
You're gonna be here by yourself tomorrow.
Yep.
No, trust me, I won't come in tomorrow, trust me.
You know what, just spend the night.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, it's a bathroom, this warm, the ladies' room.
No, I was just talking about that, yeah, that we have those meetings, but I thought we were having, it sounded like we were having other meetings after that. Just like, would be having other meetings?
No, just the one scheduled. Periodically, I mentioned that you have extra meetings because we started this process earlier. And so in order to kind of settle the warrant, you have a couple extra meetings than you did last year. But it's just your regularly scheduled select board meetings unless we need to, have an extra one.
But I don't know if we're.
It's just on the 23rd, the chief is going to present. What I'm saying is a finished product or what the numbers are gonna be. We have, as a select board, having a meeting on that. I mean, how do we, on the 23rd, we can't vote on a budget if we're having the police chief come in and talk about his pages.
I mean, I think it would be the next meeting that, some real decisions have to be made.
On the April 6th.
Yeah, and I think even the board providing me with a direction even on the 23rd would be helpful after you hear the chief's budget, because at that point you have had kind of heard everything. And so if I'm provided a direction, then for the next meeting, I could give you a much different budget depending on what you would like me to do.
I was just trying to figure out when we're gonna vote on a final product. Is my point.
I don't have it in front of me, but there was kind of a timeline because you back up. Yeah, that one doesn't have like everything, but when you back up from town meeting, you gotta back up. So the warrant has to be posted back up even further. Advisory needs time to do their work. Back up a little further than that, the select board has to vote on the warrant. So you keep backing up. And so, it's gonna be around April 6th. I just don't have that right in front of me.
Okay, I just didn't know if we were getting a special, an extra meeting, that's all. I'm fine if we do, I just wanted to try to have an idea if we were going to, that's all. In the scheme of things.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Mayor.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second that.
No, they got a close one.
Yeah, and comments. Does my board have any comments they'd like to make? April?
I do. Well, first of all, I'd like to thank all of the department heads who joined us today, for taking the time out of their weekend. To come and speak to us in regards to their budgets, and I think that they were all very well prepared, and I appreciate that.
This, I will second that, and for this being the first year of doing the budget for the town of Templeton. Mr. Ryan, thank you very much. I know it's very hard. I know there will be changes, there'll be challenges, but I am walking away from today's meeting much better than where I felt this time last year. So thank you very much.
Good.
That's it.
See people working very hard from the public, very hard to help the town grow in a positive way. And everyone's done a good job, and thank you. It's hard your first year.
Mhm.
You are not running down the street. You're doing very well.
I have no comments, and I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
So moved in second, okay?
Yes.
April, yes?
Yes.
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 I also say yes, and we are adjourned.
The board has motion to adjourn by Mr. May.
If people want to make comments, I'll withdraw that.
Vote.
I do, I want to say that, tomorrow we have to turn our clock. We have to, daylight savings time, just to remind everybody.
Yes, I on that.
Yes.
Do an extra.
My daughter's gonna be springboard.
We get up an hour earlier now, all right.
Yeah, so 1 o'clock? You're gonna get up now? Two, okay, two.
I was up at 1 o'clock this morning,
Yeah.
that's when I got home.
And I just want to thank everybody.
As far as the comments go, I'd like to reinforce what's already been said, that I appreciate the town department heads coming in, and everybody who came in answered the questions they were asked,
which was nice. You know, there was no blah, blah, blah. It was, they were answered, and that was nice. I think we got a long road from here. And, I hope everybody has patience, their feet firmly planted, and, a lot of luck on their side. And James, you know, your first budget, little rough, but, you know, what from where you came, or from where you entered, not bad, not bad. You get thumbs up from me. You know, but, I do want to see improvement. I do.
Page numbers.
Like page numbers.
Are we talking mostly cosmetic? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, mostly just presentation.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, we just ran out of time. It's
Yeah,
just
no,
crazy.
I get it. I'm not being overhead. If I did that, I'd take out a hammer. If you're not looking
Don't threaten
for-
me with a good
You're
time.
backing up and that's not good.
Good questions, well thought out, well prepared. I will echo everybody else's comments. The presentations by the departments were awesome. Questions were indeed answered. And piggybacking on the changing the clocks, don't forget those that have the battery backups to your smoke alarms, replace your batteries as well. It's always a good thing. Change the clocks, change those batteries. Safety first.
Thank you, Tim.
Mr. Mayor, motion to adjourn. All those in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
I say